tossed around like a gigolo.
Yeah, it has actually been back and forth throughout the ranks here. It does look like Sampi still want to try and attempt the retake. They've got plenty opportunities here with the utility and the kits in play. Fino and Savannah working in tandem. Fino's got an AWP as well, and they know they've got some money in the banks. That's probably going to inspire them even further. The smoke probably doesn't go as deep as what they would have liked. Savannah trying to clear out Risk in the corner, but he doesn't actually clear it out deep enough. That smoke was not a good smoke that they threw to try and get in the bomb site. That was a CT smoke, if I'm not mistaken. That had to go way deeper to try and block off Pit and give them an avenue of entry into the A bomb site where they can then isolate that A site player. But the smoke was way too shallow, and that makes for easy pickings as they try and push into the bomb site. What a way for Rare Atom to answer back. They win an eco after losing to an eco.
Well, welcome to Europe, I guess, Rare Atom. Their money's looking perfect right now, but they do have at least the AWP out still for Fino, and there still is at least a full buy for Sampi, and there's now actually
full gun round.
Actually, yeah, this is the first time that everybody has got a full rifle, right? Wait, actually no, when Manka's got the double pit play, no? And then they won the 5 versus 3. That was a gun round, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
And yeah, speaking of Mangas, he actually they have a double apartment set up. He's with Fino, and even though the AWP does die, Mangus gets the frag and also picks up the AWP. Rare Atom now grouping up towards A. There are only 2 players in brackets. Summer, he's gonna not get caught off guard and even spot Zedko coming around long, but it's futile. Zedko now actually by himself on the A bomb site. His teammate has fallen. Child King and Liang slowing it down. Bomb's gonna be planted and Sampi waiting for the rotations.
Yeah, it's going to be Sampi who have a look at the retake. Yeah, they've got a kip between them, and they've got Util as well. Rare Atom have some pretty good post-plant positions. Child King's playing on top of the balcony right now. He wants a gunfight before he drops down, and all 3 players from Sampi are making their way up short right now. Child King doubles down. They should know where Li Hang is in the corner, but that doesn't mean they guaranteed the kill. And that is going to be Rare Atom winning another round here, despite the fact that Sampi got the opening kill in Banana. Oh, really concerning signs here for Sampi. They've lost a couple rounds where they absolutely shouldn't have. I wouldn't say that was an absolute round for Sampi, but definitely one they should have converted.
That's a round where if I'm in the server as a coach or a player, I'm definitely not happy about, because you get, like, you're consistently giving yourself the advantage and the openers. Like, sure, Fino dies in apartments, but Mangus trades him out. You've got the opener in Banana, as you said, and then on the retake, you're allowing Child King to get a brace from apartments. He gets a hat trick in total in the round.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like these late rounds, Sampi have just been faltering, even though a lot of the early stages of these rounds, Sampi have been the one succeeding, getting the advantages, getting the opening kills, and then in that round, which I thought was impossible, because it was a 2 versus 4, remember? Because Zedko picks off Summer in middle, right? Or whoever died in middle, so it was literally a 2 versus 4 out of apartments. Like, that's a really big loss.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I think the real problem for Sampi was on the retake. They only had, all 3 players coming through from short. And so Child King's position on top of the balcony outside of apartments was so strong because, that spot sucks if somebody's coming out of library or from archers, right? Because you're just out in the open, entirely exposed. But yeah, all 3 players were retaking from the same place. Oh, well played from Mangus, using the sound cues there from Li Hang. Catches him off guard. Li Hang thinks the bomb site's open, but he just gets information off the back of that, relays it through to his teammates who then take the B bomb site. Was an eco round from Sampi, but Rare Atom got up 6-1. How are you feeling about your prediction now, Freddy?
What even was my prediction? Was it 2-0 Sampi?
Sampi 2-0, yeah, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the boot camp buff for Rare Atom, map pick buff, plus also a Sampi LAN blowout negative debuff. There's a lot of moving factors right now, Hazy. Oh,
Yeah.
Fino's actually got a kill.
And another. He's just like me, man. I also have a Desert Eagle print stream.
So do I. I spent my student loan on a Deagle print stream and an A1S print stream as soon as I went to
I
uni.
actually unboxed mine.
Yo, really?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool.
Not as cool as you, though, using your student loan to buy skins.
Oh yeah, great
That's
financial
mega based.
decision.
Mm-hmm.
Great however, I see that as an investment because all of those,
Sell the bottom.
bro, all of those skins have like quadrupled price
Was that since you bought it or before you bought it, though?
since I bought it. Like the A1S is like,
No.
it's an unironic investment.
That's true, especially like if you bought skins pre-2021 kind of thing. Because
Yeah.
they've massively boomed since then. It's so funny because there was like the financial market crash, you know, with COVID and all the rest. And skins were like
Skins
the
were
only
the-
thing that was going up. And it's like, where you at now, guys, with your S&P 500 or your crypto or your indices?
Bro's got
you know?
CS skins.
Whoever, yeah, those were the ones. They were the true winners, man. We knew all along.
Like I know some people who have got CS skins who have made like who haven't, if they sold their what? Child King, that was disgusting. Sorry, Fino has been put in he's been smoked. That is insane. What? Welcome to Europe. Welcome. Sampi have been shown the Asian CS way. Child King even picks up the orb. Sorry, that put a real halt to our just whatever we were talking about because that Fino's just been demolished.
Yeah, that was such a good kill coming through there from Child King off the back of a flash as well. Just hits that instantaneous headshot.
Just bam.
Things are looking good for Rare Atom on an individual level. This is actually the best I've seen from them because I've got to cast a couple of their games since they've been in Europe, you know. I think this is the third one I'm casting. I got to see them versus Metasport and I think versus DMS as well, or Mouse NXT. And this
I
is
think we
definitely
did
the
Mouse
highest
NXT
level.
together.
Yeah, you, me, and Brandon, right? I think I was the analyst or the host for that game, so...
Probably. That sounds right.
Yeah, but you agree this is the best we've seen from them so far? I mean, I know it's not a great sample size of just 8 rounds, but they're looking crispy, man.
I'll be honest, this is like I saw them against Nom, I saw them against Mouse NXT, and this is 100% the best showing that I think I've this is the best showing at first that I've seen from like Rare Atom whatsoever. Like they're looking super crisp, they're looking really sharp. They've been winning out player advantages, they've been winning out player disadvantages, and it does, I think, come as well. Like Mangus is having a pretty decent game, and then that's kind of where it ends. Like Zedkill had that 1-5-7 round. Fino hasn't got a single AWP kill. He's just been getting exits with Deagles. Like Sampi are looking not good whatsoever as well.
Yeah, I mean, maybe early morning game is causing some trouble for them. Fino's going to look to force his way into the round. He does get a kill, but he gets traded straight out. And as the T side, you will take that exchange every single day of the week, mate. And it's going to be even extended now by Child King, who takes down Zedko. Sampi are really trying to force their way into these rounds. They're forcing the gunfights, and at least Savannah will recover an even number situation. But again, you take this as the T side, and I'll tell you why. There's still so much time left on the clock. They still have enough utility, and for the CTs to try and navigate this situation means that they have to take a gamble because they don't have any outright information, so they have to try and gamble as to where they're going to set themselves up with 2 players. And for now, it's in towards mid. Rare Atom, they're just going to pull the Nico, walk through the top mid smoke, but unfortunately it's not going to work out the same way it did for G2. At least Summer trades and he'll get himself onto the A bomb site.
Oof, what a bar. But look at this from the Alive. Not a name that we've mentioned too much so far in this series. He's lost his timing. That's the only issue. He's creeping up short. Oh, Savannah's clearing boiler. No, not enough.
I think he's in balcony room.
Yeah, somebody was really tugged. However, Summer has to survive now, whittling down the time, waiting for his teammate to come in and help. Good for the first. Bomb, though, planted deep in the corner. Tap coming through. Spam does not connect, and Savannah wins out the 1 versus 2. That is a massive round for Sampi.
Oh man, absolutely, because it was looking so desperate, right? They were just trading to keep themselves in the round. It wasn't even like they were ever in control there. Constantly an even numbers situation. And it comes down to the 1 versus 1. Savannah, the difference maker, really comes alive in that round. Great showing from him. It was a triple kill out of Savannah there, Freddy. And now we need to see Sampi get some momentum off the back of that, gain some traction, because they've just been wheel spinning on Inferno here so far. As for Rare Atom, yeah, empty their pockets. AKs across the board, no problem. But lose this round, and then they will have to eco. So this is a good opportunity for Sampi. You could say the same in the reverse, though. So they've also got to tread lightly. Flash play. Flash goes way too deep. Way too deep. Although, no, never mind.
It's
the
just standard.
Roof, the tiny ducky was blocking Child King's vision of the flash.
Yeah.
That's insane, mate.
So that's why people have been boosting up there a lot more in CS2, because that balcony, like on the right, blocks the antenna flash. And I think there is something, there's like, you know, it's one of those things where like you can throw a different flash so it hits that, but it also then means it doesn't hit something else. So it's like you can, I don't think it's actually possible to get a perfect flashbang where it blinds a balcony, like someone that's boosted up, and also players top banana.
I love that evolution, man.
It's really cool, and it's a very nice like small play. But right now, Fino, this is no means of a small play. That's a triple on the dollar. Child King now in a 1 versus 2. Bomb is down on short. There's a rotation coming thick and fast from the B bomb site. Their lives picked up 1 on the anchor alongside Fino. And even though Child King opened up the round and he's got a hat trick himself, this round is not done and dusted. This 1v2 would be for the ace.
Yeah, fake plant tries to draw the players out like poison from a wound. The Eli fakes the push. Second tap coming through from Child King will indeed bait them out, but it's a good double push from the Eli and Savannah. And that will be Sampi stringing consecutive rounds together. Just going back to that flash, I love seeing those sorts of evolutions, right? Such micro evolutions, but you just find counters to plays that become very predictable. And it means that you have to alter things slightly to stay ahead of the curve. And it's just always fun to see that innovation.
It's tilting as well when you get flash top banana and there's a guy out in the open not blind. You're just like, how? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
There's a little like there's a little bit of the balcony poking out that blocks him.
Yeah, 5 roof tiles that.
Yeah, you're like,
save the
oh,
vision.
my mistake. Yes, obviously.
What was I thinking?
But Sampi, this is a really good development. And it's been mostly down to these multi-frags on the A bomb site. Mangus picks up the hero AK at the very start of the round. It is meaning then that Summer picks up his A1S he dropped, but I think still though, like Child King 15 and 7, he's had a brilliant performance. Even in the previous round, like he gets a triple, but it wasn't enough. Now, can his teammates still maintain themselves on these pistols? No, we're not really expecting anything. Summer is getting good damage, but let's be honest, like we're not expecting them to win the round off this. Surely, right? Surely, right? Surely, right?
No, we're not. We're not expecting to win the round, but you know what, Freddy? Throw your expectations out the window because it's a 2 versus 3. The problem is, for Ray Atom, Summer and Lee Hang basically make up 50 health between them, so they're certainly walking wounded in this post plant. They've all recovered rifles, but they don't have armor. Oh man, Zedko's edging his way forward right now. Savannah peering in from library, but nothing's being offered up by the T side. Just bunkered down in the bomb site. Lee Hang catches a glimpse of Zedko, inflicts damage, but can't stop him from making his way forward. Can't stop him from fragging, and Savannah will close things out.
That is a massive smoke from Savannah. He wins out that round because Zedko wouldn't have been able to get that double if it wasn't for the protection from Pit. And even though the Swiggers there, the Pit player still does like 50 HP. So Sampi, that's a really nice retake. And that's just like a little bit more like it where, okay, you do lose to a P250 that gets a double on the bomb site, but you have this really nice retake. And it's like, okay, where was that at the beginning of the half? Rare Atom though. Bomb down does mean they're going to get that injection for this final round the half.
It's been a messy half, mate. It's been a pretty messy half here in this first series of the day. It's the first series of CCT Europe Series 5 Swiss stage as well. We're really opening things up here with a bang. Kyle King is as well. Another opening kill coming through from him, but he'll step into Fino's scope. He peeked before the flash there. That is one of my pet peeves. Oh, it annoys me so much when I'm playing a game. I call that I'm flashing for a teamie, and he steps ahead of the flash or ahead of the smoke. And then he dies. And Fino would have been blinded and forced back there. Maybe he dies to the pot shot, but at least then it wasn't in his control. Oh, the excuse me, Mangus. He is playing in front of the smoke right now, but somebody decides against spamming it, so he doesn't compromise his position. He will still effect the kill, though, off the back of the nade, but there's a man advantage in play for Sampi.
Question is, can they maintain it? And with pretty much no utility, Rare Atom, this post plant is going to be really difficult. They're just going to have to try and peek in and take these shots. But speaking of peeking in, Fino is holding the angle, putting Liang in a 1 versus 3. He got a double entry with the P250 in the previous round, this very bomb site. But now it's Savannah that swings through. And Sampi, who were what, like 7-1 down, now have a 7-2, now come away from a... like getting 3 rounds on the trot and actually looking pretty respectful. And Fino has got his first AWP kill, I'm pretty sure.
You know what? Scratch that, you're right. It was actually 7-1 at 1.4 Rare Atom, so it was a solid comeback from Sampi to win 4 consecutive rounds and course correct here on Inferno. How are you feeling about going into the second half now? Because Sampi definitely have the momentum behind them. It was a strong T side from Rare Atom, so they've got to be happy with what they've put out, right? I just kind of feel like Rare Atom could have had more. You know, there was a couple situations where they got the opening kill or they had a numerical advantage that they weren't able to convert. And I'm just wondering if that might come back to haunt them here in the second half.
Yeah, I think we've really seen a momentum shift. Like, I was looking at this, I was like, oh, Rare Atom are actually just running away with it. But the fact that it seems like it's just the Child King show with like you know, the odd frag from Liang, I think that's the issue. And you even see in rounds where Child King gets like a triple and they still lose, and he's like, brothers, like, what else do I need to do? Like, I get the opening kills, I trade you all out, like, can one of you get a frag maybe? And I think that's where like Risk got an AWP out really early on that T side, like round 3, and I don't think I saw him with an AWP for the rest of the half. And yeah, Fino definitely, like I've mentioned, I think he got 1 kill with the AWP on that half. He did have a big round with the A1S, to be fair to him, and he was starting to improve towards the end. But Risk is someone that I guess in this series it's just like, which AWP is going to stand up?
Yeah, I completely agree with you, especially going into the second half. We're going to need to see more out of Risk. He's the one player, I think, who struggled the most since they've switched across to Europe. He's got a 0.86 rating in the past 3 months, mate. And of course, I mean, it's 28 maps, so it's probably more in like the past month and a half kind of thing. But still, they're definitely going to need more out of him. I mean, the potential's there. We've seen it in some rounds where he just goes crazy. He's got some really good aim, but it's just about that consistency. Either way, into the second half we go. There's a setup towards the top of Banana here from Rare Atom. Julie's playing behind the half wall. Summer to take first contact, and then somebody has got the nade primed. Oh my goodness, this is a huge setup right now towards the top of Banana, and it's exactly where Sampi are headed. This round lives and dies with the outcome of this fight here, and it's going to be pretty good here initially for both teams, able to find a frag apiece, but Savannah, he separates the two teams. He's the difference maker again.
Okay. The altercation in top Banana Wait, what? Wait, where's Child King just been shot from? Was that Zedco on triple? Okay, well, that's round over. And that's Sampi. Game's back on. That was an altercation that I did not expect Hayes to go like as favorably in favor of Sampi. Damn. Okay, Rare Atom probably gonna be taking an eco.
This is
Eepers.
the pistol. Oh, you mean ecoing in the next round?
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I thought you still had some crust in your eyes there.
No.
I know it's early for you, mate, in the UK.
Honestly, man, like, I'm not built for these 9 AM games.
Yeah, I don't know what that would feel like, honestly, because I've got that hour on you, so...
Bro, I
it's
used to have
10
8
a.m.
Do you remember those 8 AM games back in the
Yeah.
day?
And I remember to be like
Bro.
endpoint playing one of those like early games as well.
Like, you know, so, like, okay, we go on Twitter and, oh, they're forcing up, actually. That's cool. You go on Twitter and you see, like, Mighty Max doing a tweet about it. Like, it's actually a thing, man. Like, have you tried to play Counter-Strike at 9 AM? But, like, that means waking up at, like, 7 AM and warming up for, like, however long, getting breakfast and being ready at 9 AM to play Counter-Strike. That's insane.
You're honestly probably better off just staying up the whole night and then playing the game from there. You'd probably be in a better
Unironically.
condition than you would if you went to sleep and woke up at 7 in the morning. It just feels wrong. The hands don't
just
work
doesn't
at that
feel
time
right.
to play Counter-Strike. Yeah, the brain
Yeah.
doesn't operate in the manner you need it to compete at that level at that time, right?
You
So-
could sleep for 10 hours and I think you just
Oh,
still
yeah, for
wouldn't
sure.
be...
It's not a problem of not getting enough sleep.
It's just the time. It doesn't make sense. But do you know what doesn't make sense is actually Mangus has been having a great game.
Yeah,
like
he has.
he's 14 and 10. So you're like,
And
Freddie, why are
ironically,
you
he's been
saying?
the best player for Sampi lately?
Yeah, you're like, oh, why are you hyping someone up at 40 and 10? And it's like he's been a really solid anchor on the CT side. And now look at what he's done on the T side. Look at how much space he's been creating. Maybe he creates a little bit too much space.
Oh.
Gets a little bit too over eager, but in the meantime, Zedco has just found a frag on B, and it does leave Liang by himself. So I think this round is going to be fine regardless.
Oh, maybe don't get ahead of yourself just yet. Li Hang able to find one with the 5-7. Tries to flash for himself to take a peek, but unfortunately, they're a bit ahead of the game there, and they will take him down. That's going to be the end of the round. I don't really mind Rare Atom's decision to go for the force buy here, you know. I think historically, Inferno CT side is actually the most successful half to go for a force buy on out of all of the CT sides. And not only that, but you really want the AWP and full utility in your first gun round as well, so you can contest bananas, so you can retake. So that they're looking forward to the future as well with this force buy. They're not going for that third round investment of the third round of the half, right, where you get A1Ss and then like 2 pieces of util, maybe a player on an MP9. Either way, I'm a bit concerned now for Rare Atom's cause. They came out storming, right? It was a barnstorming performance initially, Rare Atom going up 7-2, but they've lost 5 rounds in a row since then, and they almost certainly will be a 6th added to the tally, and that's going to allow for Sampi to get the lead here as well.
Isn't this now 6 rounds in a row?
Well, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
thinking 7-2
7-1.
again.
So it's,
you're
yeah,
right.
this is,
Yeah.
and I think that force buy has just really now put themselves in a bit of a predicament where they'd be fighting for at least a gun round here on 7-7, but they're actually giving up the lead to Sampi for the first time in this series. And this is a little bit what I was actually hinting at in the pre-show, where Rare Atom's gameplay and game style will get you to a position where you're 7-1 up aggressively and it looks really dominant, but then that exact same game style will be your downfall, right? That's exactly what happens, where how they play is just maybe a little bit wild, a little bit wacky, and that's why we see it be a little bit hard to find the consistency.
Yeah, it's tough to be sustainable with that sort of approach, and there's that age-old adage, live by the sword, die by the sword, and that's exactly what you're referring to here with Rare Atom. I still don't mind the decision to go for the force buy in the previous round, just as, well, the reasons I explained before this round, but... yeah, can they inflict any more damage? Economic damage certainly would be welcome for Rare Atom. Child King with this 5-7 will get another kill, remember. They're just looking to try and take Sculpts right now. force Sampi to rebuy as many weapons as possible going into that next round. Somebody would love an extra kill with the Mac-10 here as well. Some more money for him to be carried through, and Risk with the AK. You know what? I'm falling back with the AK, Freddy. There's no way I'm pushing forward here if I'm Risk. I guarantee you I'm saving this gun. But he's got other plans. AK on the CT side is so strong, man.
It is,
Especially
it is,
on a map
man.
like Inferno, where spamming through smokes is so prevalent.
Trying to find a joke somewhere in there, but I can't. I tried. But Sampi, it's the first time they're taking the lead. They're up. And we've got an AWP out for Risk. No armor. So that's a bit bold. But he's going to be playing... He does have armor. You are correct. That is...
Okay,
that
that's
is
why we work in a team, mate.
That's, you know, team player. And Sampi, do you know what they're doing? They're working as a team to take banana control.
Yeah, 4 of the 5 players grouped up in banana right now. Somebody's gonna get forced forward by the molly, and with good reason as well. Between himself and Lee Hang, they will be able to find the first 2 kills of the round, but it's a great response out of Sampi. Summer gets ahead of the smoke grenade. I love the balls on him to swing through that smoke there and stop Sampi from getting into the site itself, and Risk with his armor will indeed finish off the round there, taking Mangus down. So Rare Atom finally get themselves back to winning ways. 7 rounds in a row for Sampi. The streak is finally struck down. And have a look at the effects that come through from the kills out of Rare Atom's eco round. The Elive, Zedko, and Fino, the 3 players who went down, they've got not much money to come into this next round. In fact, it's enough to dissuade them from even going for the investment here. It's going to be an eco for Sampi.
Yeah, you know... Risk really utilized his armor there.
Yeah, he did. He needed his
Yeah,
armor.
no,
Made the difference.
really good use. But Summer's my MVP there. Yeah, he just like, I love the fact that he swings before the smoke blooms, so he has that advantage. Catches Sampi completely off guard, and very well placed grenade, very well placed HE. It's 8-8. Rare Atom, sure they let Sampi take the lead, but Chunking. Yeah, he's still 18 and 10, guys, and he's still hitting these shots. And Rare Atom, maybe a new birth of energy as Summer, Risk, Child King, everybody laying waste to this force buy or eco round from Sampi.
Yeah, it was an eco.
Also, Risk is AWP skin and craft goes hard. Gun gear with it's a gun gear with a Dignitas Hollow on the scope.
Man, Chinese players just always have the craziest
Bro.
skins, don't they? They're stacked up, man.
I casted like the Asian RMR qualies, like Rio, and just like everyone had howls, and I was like, what's going on, man? What's going on?
What's going on here then? Yeah. Imagine how much money they've made since the skin prices have increased over the
Yeah.
past few years, bro. They're balling out,
Bro,
man.
that's a year's salary.
Damn, easily. In some countries, it's enough for a family.
Yeah. Okay, well, Rare Atom, they've got back the lead, but Sampi, as we mentioned, back on the rifles. So, here we're to go chillin'.
Yeah, this is actually a really important round for Sampi. Despite the fact that they won 7 rounds in a row, they're still down by a round right now. And if they lose this one, 10-8 almost certainly becomes 11-8. So there's a lot hinging on this round right now for the T side. They've been able to get some good control towards the top of mid. And Rare Atom are forced to keep 3 players on that A bomb site. They do have control of Banana on the CT side, and Risk has been able to find an opening kill as well. He's really coming alive on the CT side, and that's exactly what you were asking for out of him.
It was basically just like, give me one, Fino or Risk. Just like, who's it gonna be? And what's really interesting is that is Fino versus Risk. So you have the 2 players fighting up and bouncing up against each other. All the timing Risk moves away from holding oh no, not Risk, but there was a player in Speedway and he moves away, so now we have 3 players walking up long completely undetected, but Risk is able to get at least one towards short. Summer gets his towards the bomb side, and Risk, it's good damage onto Mangus. What is that? The Deagle out, and oh, conviction flowing through his veins. Where's he pulled that out from?
This is why they've got him in the roster, man. He might have a 0.86 rating over the past 3 months, but it's the potential. It's the vision that they have for what he could bring in the future, and that is what he's capable of. What a ridiculous round coming through from Risk. Hitting the shots that were absolutely necessary, but then going above and beyond thereafter. He's by himself on the save bomb side, and he's not falling back waiting for his teammates to rotate from Banana and join up for the retake. He's gotten ahead of the game, and he's done it himself.
Sorry, that first Deagle shot is unreal. That is, you know, let me get some taco sauce with that with that, bro. That was nuts, bro. That he sent him to sleep. Like, that's the thing with these Chinese players of, sure, you know, that we were talking about, like, you live and die by this crazy strategic play of Counter-Strike, but then you pull out stuff like that because that's just what you can do. However, Risk is in a bit of it's a sticky position right now. He's gonna have a lot of people coming down on him, and yeah, he doesn't even land the inaugural shot, so there's just everybody fighting him. There's a push towards Banana. Bomb is in T-spawn, so it's a 1 versus 3 right now, and okay, Liang gets one digged. Yep, sure. And Mangus, my goat. Mangus, my goat.
Yeah, he's having an absolute massive performance right now for Sampi, who have just won an eco round, mate. They've just won an eco. Fino had the hero AWP, but it's not like that played any role in them actually winning the round here. And that is a huge let-off, right? And that's the second time Sampi have done that, right? Is that the second time they've been able to win an eco round?
I feel like you're right, yeah.
It's just like, I'm sure they've gotten another pistol round win in the mix somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, we've definitely seen something. This game has been crazy because it's been like 7 in a row for Rare Atom, and then 7 in a row for Sampi.
Yeah.
And now it's going back and forth, and an eco round is what keeps us alive. Okay.
I just went back and checked the numbers. It was the first round Sampi won. It was the 4th round of the map. That was an eco round when Zedko gets the double kill with the 5-7 pushing down.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. So and then the A side. Yeah, but then, exactly. Like, for Rare Atom, it's like, wow, okay, they're still in the lead. They've lost against 2 force buys, and they're still in the lead.
Wouldn't even go so far as to call it a force buy, mate. Which is even more problematic for Rare Atom.
Like a half buy, like a Tech 9 buy.
Yeah. Either way.
Well, it's because of Risk. It all stems from that AWP getting very, like, it's an AWP that you're playing as a like, you should know the economy. And you're like, let me aggress short. And now Sampi resting on their laurels. They know this A bomb site is weak, and it will prove to be the exact same, like, the exact same thing's gonna happen. Sampi, they just burst out. They take the jewels, and it's so easy.
Oh, it's a disaster for Rare Atom as well. Remember, guys, that this is Rare Atom's map pick, and we go to Anubis after this, which is a really good map for Sampi. It's their best map at the moment, so Rare Atom will have a very tough time on Anubis. I kind of feel like they have to win on Inferno to keep themselves in the conversation. You know, they've lost their past 4 series 2-0. They've generally been competitive on their pick, but the stats and the numbers don't look great for Rare Atom if they do lose on Inferno, so at least they'll keep 3 players alive. They don't have too much round loss bonus behind them, if I'm not mistaken. They're only going to get, what, $1,900 here, so we'll probably see them have to save around these rifles and then buy up in the round afterwards.
Yeah, you're on the money there. Not that Rare Atom have money.
No, they wish they were on the money.
Yeah. Wish they could cash in the howl. Cash in,
yeah.
Cash in those skins.
Although, I mean, what if you what's a howl worth these days? Do you have a number?
I actually don't even know, but like I think it'd be my year's salary.
Okay, well, I
Like
just typed it
more.
in on Google, and factory news $7,000.
I think it's a lot
So,
more than 7,000
yeah,
now.
that could be an old price, right? So just take that with a pinch of salt. Oh, active offers from 4K. So
Oh, that
anyway,
doesn't
so the
seem
point
as
I'm trying
much
to
as
make
I
is it's not
thought.
like you could get much money if you cashed in your hull. You get like a rifle for it, mate. I don't think it's worth it. But either way, they might not need to, because the 2 rifles they've carried through have
Yeah.
been able to inflict some damage. They've both found a kill, mate.
Oh, the boost.
Oh, the boost gets predicted though, premeditated.
Premeditated murder, but Zedko, look at this. He's been dinked through the smoke by a P250, and the A1Ss are being juggled. Somebody, a bit of overextension, not really playing with the rest of his teammates, a little bit disjointed, and now Zedko reduced to just waiting behind that smoke. He is trying to check for banana, but this smoke should bait in Child King, who's going to be now just actually by himself.
Wow.
And he's picked up the AWP and he's saving. Wow, that all falls apart. It's a 4 versus 3 for Rare Atom, and they played that so individualistically. It's literally just like one player goes, then one player goes, then one player goes, and they should be able to save the AWP. Yeah, Child King will save that. There's a little bit of damage. That wasn't a round they invested in, so you just gotta kind of keep that in the back of your mind. But Sampi, though, they take the lead, and we're getting so close to the end.
Yeah, it's really rough for Rare Atom how things have fallen off here, but as you say, we are close to the end, but we're not there just yet, mate. Rare Atom could still recover the situation. They're going to have a full buy at their disposal. Risk is going to have the AWP dropped across to him as well. They'll have a full arsenal of weaponry, but they have to win this next round, because if they lose this round here, at that point, you're probably writing off the map. 12-10, they don't have money. It is impressive how Sampi have managed to keep themselves in this map, right? I mean, they haven't been playing their best Counter-Strike, but to have the ability to win games when you still aren't at your best is such an important aspect of a successful team. It just sometimes you have to grind your way to a victory. It might not be pretty, but you get the round on the board. And it's exactly what we've seen from Sampi so far here on Inferno.
I think right now, if Sampi win this, they look back at this game and they're like, wait, we won? You telling me we won this? But they've got the advantage, they've got the momentum, and it all stems from that Tech 9 round. If it wasn't for that Tech 9 round, Hayes, then I think we could have been done, but for Rare Atom's favor.
Yeah.
This is... Yeah.
I completely agree with you. Not only that one, but the first eco round that Sampi won with the 5-7s on the CT side as well. And that's what I mean, like Rare Atom, they've got to be brushing up on those sorts of rounds. They've got to know when to reel things in a little bit and not play that enterprising, aggressive brand of Counter-Strike. These are the things that they need to take away from Europe, man.
Yeah, like that Deagle play from Risk is like, okay, it's great, but it's just fundamentally so wrong. However, if he's able to pull stuff out like that, that's going to win them the game, I want to see it. And they're going to be a little bit careful here, Rare Atom. Zedko getting aggressive, top banana. I thought he was going to be able to catch them off guard, but he actually doesn't. Gets away with good damage, and that nade sails in to do even further, but somebody still alive, and now we've seen Risk rotate over with the AWP, and Sampi, they are still looking to hit in, but the AWP peeks forward. Fino flashed off. It's a 2-man advantage now, and Risk still posted up. One jumps over, but he flicks onto the IGL. Risk! He's risking his life, but it's for the greater good. Fortune favors the brave, and god damn it, he is pulled.
Yeah, beautiful stuff coming through there from Risk. Eventually, Savannah does get a kill back, and there's a couple players on low HP, but Savannah's one of them, so should be no way back into this round here. Lock and chain for Rare Atom, 11-11 lined up. And almost entirely thanks to Risk here for Rare Atom, he might be able to finish it off as well, and he does. Lightning quick reflexes coming through from him. Scoreline, 11 apiece, man. Game on our hands, and this smacks of overtime as far as I can tell, Freddy.
Yep, we're going all the way. All the way. Risk is he's been having some rounds, man. Just re-peeking in. He's playing the classic like Chinese Counter-Strike, and Sampi just aren't doing anything.
Yeah, you can't do much when the AWP is being shoved down your throat, though, man.
Sounds like a dream come true.
For some. Some people prefer giving, some people prefer receiving. Sampi are going to be giving Ray Atom a headache on the same bomb side. It's going to be a bolt burst coming through from them. 4 players with a minute and 10 seconds on the clock. They do get the opening kill, but there's an immediate response coming through from Ray Atom in the way of 2 frags. Numbers do get leveled out though, 3 versus 3. Bomb plant going to come through and Ray Atom are going to have to make the retake happen. There's an extra player still in towards mid, that's Savannah. He's the late insurance policy here for this T side. Ray Atom definitely going to have a look in here for the retake, but I fancy their chances, and Savannah's timing is everything.
Yeah, I mean, like, firstly, Liang was still on the B bomb site as the bomb was being planted, so you already just have this really belated retake. And on top of that, Risk, he gets caught off guard. His booty was out on shorts, and Savannah, he takes Sampi. That's 12. They take map point on their opponent's map pick. Inferno, it's been a banger game of Counter-Strike to start off the kick-off Series 5.
Yeah, what a massive call, what a massive round coming through there from Sampi to get themselves to map point. 1 round away, the bulk burst with 4 players pushing out with a minute and 10 on the clock. That's a really brave call coming through from the Eli, man, but it works out. They win the round, and look at the result. They're now playing against 3 rifles, an MP9 and a shotgun. Oh, the MP9 was sold. Instead, Risk wanted the auto shotty. They have that 4th rifle in tow.
Best weapon.
Probably not, mate. Probably not.
The auto shotgun is the best weapon in this game.
All right, 5 points for your explanation. Go.
5 points from exclamation. If you shoot a smoke, you just get wall hacks. Like, it just blows open smokes. And also, like, the gun's just insane. Like, you can just run, like, it's actually got distance on it. And, like, I feel like you can just run around. Like, on this angle, if someone peeks into you, and if you don't whiff, like, they're just dead. And also, kill bonus, 600.
Yeah.
And cheap.
Got nerfed. Well,
See?
he's in the right place. Is he going to be able to collect the kills?
Yeah.
Is the question. Absolutely.
Best gun of all time.
Okay. Freddy, 5 out of 5 full marks for you, mate. Bang on the money. We're going to overtime. Risk gets 3 kills with the auto shotty. Not a single life is lost for Rare Atom as they're able to win that 12th round and force us into OT.
That is maybe one of the most satisfying moments in my career. Also, Mangas gets a team kill in that. But, Risk unfortunately can't... Huh?
I think that's you peaking.
Yeah, it's all downhill from here. I've peaked at 10 AM on a Monday morning. I mean, what a round. They try go for the exact same play.
Yeah, I know. That's what irks me, man, is it's like you haven't even tried to build yourself into the round at all. You've just rolled the dice, and it feels like it's such a cop-out of a play, in such a big round. It's like, you kind of absolve yourself of responsibility by calling something like that, because there's just no depth, Like, as an IGL in a round like that, you really want to try and construct something, force rotations and build yourself into the round, but I just think it's a cop-out to call another bulk burst in a situation like that.
And Risk, he is on fire. He's like tripled his kills or even more after the half. And now in overtime, he gets the opener with AWP. Sampi just don't know how to deal with him right now. And he's already rotated in time to come through for long. Unfortunately, does miss his shot, but super dynamic right now. He is playing like a bat out of hell.
Yeah, great way for Rare Atom to set things in motion here in overtime. Sampi going to try and get themselves back in the round as they make their way up short and towards the A-bomb site, but they continue to get cut down. It's only the E-Live left remaining and not for much longer either. Rare Atom come out the gate swinging here in overtime.
Do you know what's kind of surprised me is Child King's drop-off? He was like 18-5 or something like that.
Yeah,
like he
true,
was having an insane performance. And it's like right there, Summer gets a quad kill on the bomb site, almost baits in for Child King, and then Child King instantly dies. And it's just like, he has been anchoring towards A, which isn't the most promising of, and prized position, but Mangus was doing it super well on the CT side. And he's also someone that's dried up a little bit, because he was like 21-11. So sure, he's still playing well, but just as soon as we get to this later stage where Rare Atom are dominating, we see the likes of Mangus not really performing like he was maybe at the beginning. And speaking of dominating, Liang does just peek Banana with his M4, gets 2 kills, and Savannah's now on 18 HP. On top of that, Child King has got Fino. Rare Atom, they are snowballing this game.
Yeah, all of the back of Risk's 3 kills with the auto shotty. Oh, Mangus, okay. Doing his best to try and get his team back in the round. Can he find one more kill? He needs another. And I know it's so much to ask for someone who's already found a double kill entry to get the team back in the round. This was a 5v2. 31 points of health between Savannah and Mangus. And it's going to be a smoking towards Moto here so that they can isolate the bomb site. Oh, is he pushing ahead of the smoke? This play is not necessary, Freddy. You got me nervous, somebody. And it's okay. It's okay. He's got it under control. But is that technically the best play to make? Absolutely not.
Some of the, a large majority of these players from Rare Atom have not been the theoretically best way to play Counter-Strike, but they're working. And again, that's kind of the point of like, when it works, and when it doesn't, it really doesn't.
There's actually a lot of similarities between, you know, Rare Atom and Asian Counter-Strike and South African Counter-Strike, both very aggressive brands of Counter-Strike in general. And the problem is that we don't get punished in our respective regions for playing that kind of CS. And that's why when you do go abroad and you try and play what's been working for you in the past, you just get demolished by Europe, who have got way better protocols and much better discipline, and they punish those sorts of play styles. So, like you say, it can work for Rare Atom, but is it going to work on a long-term scale? Is it going to be sustainable for them to be a successful team? That's where you've got to realize that sometimes because a play works out for you, it wasn't the correct play to make.
South Africa has Counter-Strike.
Well, JT, TC, and Complexity. We got Sonic and Wildcard, Mr. and Young Ninjas. Where you at, UK? You claiming people like Crucial. You're claiming people like Volt.
Volt lives in... He's grown and brought up in London.
Yeah, he's got a Romanian flag on HLTV, man. Co-partner.
Yeah, he's left us, but that's on him. That's on him. He wanted the clout over the... He wanted the clout. I mean, like, Mezzi?
Okay, you've got me there. You've got me there on Mezzi, but he's in an international team, so basically French, right?
Basically French. Basically French. That's the worst thing you could ever say to a UK person. You know.
Oh, I know how to get under your skin, mate. But
okay.
Rare Atom with 15-12 up. They've just won all 3 rounds on their season side. They've got 3 map points, by the way.
Yeah, I kind of just clocked in the fact that they could just win this round and win the game out. And they've traded effectively top Banana. What actually is maybe a detriment to them putting down that utility on B is to say that, look, there is one more player here. And somebody, even though maybe anticipated by the Alive, still wins out his duel. They know Savannah's here. He's been dropping utility. Smoke's going to be fading. Molotov's going to be fading. He's going to have to fight to the death. 2 kills. It's admirable, but is it enough?
Well, if there's one player you want in this clutch situation for Sampi, it would be Mangas. He's been the star player so far throughout this map, and now he has to go above and beyond. He needs a 1 versus 2 just to keep Sampi in this map. Lose it, and it's game over. Rare Atom claim victory on their pick, and they know he's going to be coming from Banana. Somebody's even turned his back to CT, and he will indeed get the kill to conclude the map.
Rare Atom, they win out their map pick versus Sampi on overtime, and also flawlessly. That 4, well, I think it was a 3k technically from Risk, because Mangus
It was 3.
team kills one of his own players, so kind of takes it away from him. But a Risk multi-frag with the XM, which I called perfectly, by the way.
That's fair enough. You definitely.
Yeah, that was, I'll take that one. But they just go on overtime and then just win. And it's like, okay, fair enough. Is this going to be something that can be replicated on map 2? That's kind of my next question now.
I don't think so. I mean, they looked very good in overtime, but Anubis is a way more comfortable map for Sampi, and I'm expecting a better performance out of them as well. But we are going to have a short break before that next map, guys. Don't go too far. We'll be back in about 10 minutes.
You have any unnecessary skins or want to sell them? Try SkinPlace. Visit the website, select the skins you want to use. Easily fill your Steam trade link. Make sure we offer good prices and choose a payment method. Hit the button and boom, instant cash. Safety. Low commissions. Instant payouts. SkinPlace.
What's a super stream game? It's an extension that provides a valuable and engaging game within the stream you are watching. Join an active community and test your knowledge in a live race against expert chasers by answering trivia, prediction, and recall questions tailored to the content you are watching.
Are you sick of...
Do you have any unnecessary skins or want to sell them? Try Skin Place. Visit the website, select the skins you want to use. Easily fill your Steam trade link. Make sure we offer good prices and choose a payment method. Hit the button and boom, instant cash. Safety. Low commissions. Instant payouts. Skin Place.
What's a super stream game? It's an extension that provides a valuable and engaging game within the stream you are watching. Join an active community and test your knowledge in a live race against expert chasers by answering trivia, prediction, and recall questions tailored to the content you are watching.
That was a really exciting map one, and to be honest, when I saw this series, I was like, I don't think it's going to be a very fun game, like Sampi versus Rare Atom. I'm not sure what we're going to get out of this. And we saw wild, wacky plays. We saw XMs getting multi-frags to push us into overtime, and we just saw an overtime. And that was after Sampi had won, what, like 7 rounds in a row to even up, actually give themselves the lead. It's after Sampi winning 2 low buy rounds, and like not even a force buy, like just a low buy round, and then Rare Atom, they still pull through on their map pick, Haze.
Yeah, I remember Sampi even had a map point in regulation, and they try go for a bulk burst. It's like, come on, when you're on the brink of winning a map, you've just won off the back of a bulk burst, you should know their economy is probably fairly low. You want to play a percentage-based play. So for me, that was like a really bad call from the E-Live in that last round of regulation. Like I said, I think for an IGL to call something like that is a cop-out, because if the bulk burst doesn't work, you kind of absolve yourself. It's like, yeah, well, I called a strat and we just couldn't get out of absence. Like, yeah, but you could have called something better. Either way, we are going to Anubis next, which is the map pick of Sampi, and they've looked good on the map as well.
Yeah, I think it was like that call was like, I could see his thought process with like, okay, it's worked again. I was just like, it was like 110 on the clock, like 120. Like, they didn't even default. It went straight into it. And like, even though Risk does get the 4K or whatever, and as we get into this game, we'll talk about it more, it's like, there were still 3 players there on the A-bomb site or whatever. But now we go into Anubis. We're going on to Sampi's map pick. And look, it's a map they've got an insane amount of reps on. 28 maps played in the last 3 months. But it has been a very up and down recently. I think in the earliest stages of that like 3-month bracket, they were kind of just beating everybody, and then now it's like, okay, we're seeing losses to 3D Max, Passion UA, and Veni Vidi Vici, whoever they are. However, we're mapped down, backs against the wall. Is this gonna give them a little bit new birth of energy?
Well, they have been able to trade 1-for-1 in towards mid. Rare Atom now make their way in towards the A-bomb site, leading the charges. Child King, he'll find a really important kill. Zedco bombing and weaving back and forth, gets a frag as well, but the man advantage will persist here for Rare Atom. Summer's also set up here to try and deal with the E-Live. Nice timing on the swing from him, and it's now all on Mangus. Coming through from the flank, they know exactly where he is as well. So all 3 players for Rare Atom going to swing together, and that will open up the pistol round here for the Chinese team. A great way to set things in motion on the second map.
Is there a world where Atom is 2-0? And like, to be fair, they've been on boot camp for 2 months. You kind of do look at them. You're like, okay, maybe we do have the expectations for you to do well. And Sampi, they've just come off LAN. Like, that's a few travel days, and it's also an unsuccessful LAN. Like, that kind of been LAN's always a fun thing, but when you go in and just get banged out in 2 series, and like, you're losing to like Unity or like Eclot and like teams who you'd think you're probably better than them. I think it's a hard pill to swallow.
I'd even pick Sampi over Sinners at the moment, you know. So
well, you'd think so, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, yeah, it's a pretty rough result for Sampi that the LAN went the way that it did. Nice cleanup here from the Mac 10 on Child King. Gonna rack up some good money with his 3K. But is there a world in which Rare Atom win this 2-0? Yes. I mean, they've played on Anubis. They don't have nearly as many reps as Sampi do, but they took Meta's port to overtime, and they also picked Anubis in that series, by the way. So they back their Anubis, do Rare Atom. So it's not like this is a massive punish pick for Sampi. It's just that Sampi picked into their best map. They start on the unfavorable side as well. So yeah, there actually is a world in which Rare Atom win this 2-0. It's not unfathomable.
There's also the conversation of just like, it's quite hard to look at Rare Atom and be like, oh yeah, they're good on this map or they're bad on this map, just because they like we don't see huge amount of officials from them, and like they have been practicing day in day out, and also on top of that, it's just there's not much to go off on, so therefore it's quite hard to counteract Rare Atom. Like, what's their game plan? Maybe we don't know. And on this first gun round, Summer is going to get identified by that Molotov from Mangus. Utility like that is good. Because sometimes just hear if someone's there. That's exactly what Mangus gets. He gets the information. He's going to back away though. But in the meantime, aggression towards A. Savannah, he's made a step, he's made noise, but Risk, not looking the right way, misses his shot, and on top of that, Fino finally dispatches the Summer towards Connector, and this round is falling apart for Rare Atom.
Oh, little mouse wheel jump there maybe for Savannah, but thankfully it's not going to cost him his life. Somebody desperately trying to chase him down. He actually inflicts damage to the second player, but everything's falling apart here for Rare Atom as things fall into place for Sampi. A 5 versus 2 here. They're going to get their first round on the board as early as this gun round, and they're also going to keep numbers alive. So that's going to be a good boost to their economy going forward as they get the ball rolling. This is just the first game of the day, mate. After this, we have got ourselves Permitter versus Gun 5. We'll be covering that game as well. Then Ruby against Havu, and then Team Space against Eyeballers to finish things off. A stacked day of Counter-Strike, as is the case as per normal right here in CCT, providing entertainment across the board.
All the Counter-Strike, all the days, all of it.
One series ends, the next one begins.
Yeah, I mean, like, this one already had the closed qualifiers started, and I like how, like, VP Prodigy have come through the most recent closed qualifier, while also just making the semi-finals of the last series, so... I mean, yeah, we had a semi-final, because the Gun 5 came through the closed qualifier of the previous tournament, and then won it out, so we had a closed qualifier matchup in the semi-finals. And then we had just Gun 5 win it all out. That was a crazy game versus Furia, bro.
We haven't had it often where a team has come from the closed qualifier and gone on to win the entire thing. Team Space,
I think Astralis Talent did it.
Astralis
Talent did it once, I think.
But it is rare. Absolutely, it is rare. Because remember, you know, you qualify from the group stage, the closed, the play-in rather. Then you make it through the Swiss stage where 8 teams have been invited after you've qualified, and then you get to the playoffs where another 8 teams get invited, right?
Yeah.
So it is a huge feat.
Astralis Talent did it in March of 2023 in North Europe for beating Copenhagen Flames, which was like the, you know, Bird from Sky Farley team, and then Sinners 500 and Gamer Legion. So, yeah. You can kind of see why, like, you're gonna see why, like, Patty, Altex, Bro, and Mister have all gone to bigger and better things.
Yeah, was Destiny, as Sampi are destined to win this round here as well. Just shutting things down in middle. Mangus had a really nice flank there, very early in the round as well. That's why it catches Rare Atom off guard. They went for the numbers-based approach in towards mid and left themselves exposed on the flanks. That's exactly what Mangus exploits.
Pretty good start for Sampi, excluding the pistol round.
Yeah, they'll be happy with the way that things have developed in the past couple. They're going to reset that T-side economy. Not a bad save for Lihang and Child King because, well, it's going to be an eco round for Rare Atom, and it's not like they're going to be disjointed from the rest of their teammates. They'll have enough money in the next round afterwards. Risk has decided to buy armor. I don't mind this decision because he's got the hero orb, so kind of trying to
may
make
as well.
the most. But he's gone a bit far by dropping the Tech 9 now for Lihang. I think Lihang should have just, accepted, yeah, sure, I was the one who stayed alive in the previous round, but I'm going to have to play with a Glock here. Because now it's an overinvestment from Risk. He'll only have $2,800 in that next round, unless he can win this one for his team, and he's found a great opening kill, taking down his opposite number.
And also beating that Molotov, not spreading as far as it maybe used to. They don't realize he's got already towards Pillar, but he misses this opportunity. Now the rest of his team are going to be joining him. The nade does dispatch with Risk. The mid flank comes through, but Summer's only got a Glock, and he doesn't click the head, doesn't take his time, doesn't adjust properly, or been re-picked up by somebody. He's yet to frag, and he's now into a 1 versus 3.
Yeah, Risk is there on the sidelines thinking, maybe save the AWP, man. I think that would be a good idea, right? Just take the AWP into the next round. I wouldn't mind that if that's what you were thinking. Certainly not going to have enough money in the next round for that AWP. So carrying it through here is quite important for somebody, I think. Because then Risk can just drop him a Galil in the next round. It's not the end of the world, but looks like he's still going to feel this one out. I really wish he would just save here, you know.
Yeah, you do obviously have the conversation of just like, okay, economical mismanagement and disrupt. Like, it is very awkward, but then do you have that priority of having the AWP out? Like,
yes.
Do you have that kind of, yeah, and I think Risk in this round, like, you can see how important and impactful having the big green or the big orange, the magic stick.
Donald Trump, what?
Donald Trump is on the AWP. What?
Have you heard that one before?
Donald, as in like the big orange?
Yeah, they call him the big orange.
Yeah, like I gathered that because he is orange, right?
Basically, yeah.
Isn't he in jail now?
No, not yet, but he might be.
Oh, okay.
He might be soon enough.
Sick.
Just like me, man. Guilty on all 34 charges of loving you, Freddy.
Oh, I was really confused where that was going.
Just like me, for real. I'm also guilty of everything I've done.
Tax fraud.
I do want to just say about the AWP. Remember, think about the net economic shift with him saving the AWP, right? They get plus
Big words, okay.
4750, right? 4,750 for the AWP.
Okay.
And had he gone down there, they only get $2,400 from the round loss bonus injection. So it makes a lot of economic sense to save it in that regard.
Risk wouldn't have been able to buy because he drops his Galil and then buys just armor. So this is a great purchase. And that last round, look, like I don't want to point fingers, but if Risk honestly had just hit that second shot, it probably would have been round 1. It was a very hard thing for him to ask of. And like, as I said, they didn't really expect him to be Pillar ahead of that Molotov. But he's able to capitalize on the changes and those like small little things that the Seaside have been nerfed even more than they already were. Where is he right now? It's towards Kick Connector. Okay, he's playing passive. Ooh, somebody goes searching A. So they use the like extension smoke, they use the flashes, but what it does do, Hayes, is it drags over a lot of those rotations, and especially with this kill on B, I would have loved to see them pop out with it, but I feel like Rare Atom have played this quite poorly, where they've pulled over the rotations, got the kill, and then waited. Now the rotations are here, but Manga still just gets blown up.
Yeah, great entry kill coming through from Summer to open up this B bomb site, and it'll be really tough here for Sampi to retake. They're going to feel it out, but it's going to be so difficult to even find a way in. And as you say, Child King in a great position. Risk will deny Savannah, and with that, Zedko only has one thought in mind, and that's to save, but Summer will deny. And I'm right there with you. I really am. I think that Rare Atom needed to activate quicker over towards that B bomb site after they lost their player towards A, but it all works out in the end. So they do get the points on the board. They level up the scoreline once again. Sampi will have enough money to reinvest, but Anubis is starting to get going now, man. It's certainly warming up with both teams getting into the game.
Yeah, I think there, for me, what I was quite confused about is I'm like, okay, Zedko is playing deep CT, Mangas is playing default, and the Alive is unable to figure out if he wants to go middle or if he wants to go B, and I'm like, Sampi just seemed very confused, so I guess a sign that Rare Atom do very well is to just throw them into that state of confusion. And now, Contact play towards the B bomb site. Risk holding a deep angle. Summer tries to take that first contact, is unsuccessful. Zedko flashes for himself, and they are mopping up Rare Atom. They go for a contact play. They miss out those first fights, and then it all just basically falls through their fingers. Child King on the lurk in the previous round is going to get just detonated. Zedko had a fantastic performance at the back of that bomb site.
Yeah, I don't think there was any problem with the call. I think Sampi are just really fortunate that they have 3 players on that B bomb site there at that moment, so that they really can stack up the defense, and the extra player does make a difference there because Rare Atom were never prepared to deal with that 3rd player in the setup. And now they will empty their pockets. They do get rifles pretty much across the board, bar Summer. The problem is they're very light on util. So this is actually a really good chance now for Sampi to pull ahead. You win this round, you got 5-3. Anti-eco after that means 6-3. And then on your CT side, I mean, you're already happy with the output at that point. So, yeah, Sampi going to be feeling very good about how things have played out here in the past few rounds.
And I really think of, like, Inferno was anyone's game. I really think Sampi could have won that and closed down regulation or closed down in overtime or whatever. And now there's still such a chance for them to push into that 3rd map. Child King opens up middle, but Savannah on the A anchor has to do more, unfortunately. It's a very hard position to be in, especially considering your mid prong has died, but all of a sudden it falls apart for Rare Atom. They're in a great, like, 4 versus 3, and it's all just gone. Sampi retake the bomb site before the bomb had even barely got planted.
Yeah, I mean, at least there's a bomb plant for Rare Atom, but things fall apart so quickly. Blink of an eye, really. I feel like Rare Atom have had some better success over towards the safe bomb site, at least as far as getting into the site itself goes, so maybe gonna lean in that direction. They have enough money off the back of the plancher to get a few more pieces than what they would have had otherwise. There's some upgraded pistols, utility, and armor, but it should be Sampi doubling up on their opponents here and going up 6-3.
Nice boost play, Zedko and Mangus fighting for their existence, and fight they will do. Unfortunately, bullets run out, but USPs will do the job. Sampi, quick work of the low purchase, and I feel like Rare Atom, they're just not really going for defaults. It's like, okay guys, we're going to contact mid this round. Okay, we're going to contact B this round. Okay, we're going to contact A this round. It's like, they've kind of got it just feels like they've got very clear directives of what they want to do early on, and then they just go for it.
Yeah, but at the same time, in the same breath, I kind of feel like they aren't playing to the strength of Anubis. They aren't punishing the CT side, right? By playing out the defaults and denying CT's info, you know, punishing any aggressive plays where they do try get info. Because they're just taking contact, the CTs don't actually have to do much. They haven't had to be proactive, have Sampi. Nice nade there. Oh my goodness, nearly does max damage to Risk on his AWP. He plays catch, and not a game he wanted to be a part of, and now he's mollied out into the open. Now it's Sampi who are playing the CT side on their terms. A lovely shake-up, some good aggression, disrupting the T side. Rare Atom try fall back on a far more default-esque approach, as you were calling for, but they've still been shut down emphatically.
That is just, though, a great round from Sampi. I think taking advantage of the fact that they're not getting pressure in those areas, this is looking like a great city side from them. And I mean, what I was going to say is, I was like, yeah, this is looking like they're sailing towards a map win, because they've got such a good advantage. They've only lost 1 round since the pistol, you know, that stuff, right? However, remember, we did have Rare Atom up equally, like 7-1 in map 1, and then it went to overtime. So I never really want to sit here yet and discredit another team, even though there was some very difficult rounds to start for Sampi. It feels like they're ironing out the creases,
yeah.
And even here it's just really nice setup, but they've got the read. There's 4 players on this B bomb site already. Bomb, I'd be surprised if it can be planted. Yep, Zedko unsheaths his dagger. That's a nice little extra bit of money, and also a bit of BM.
Yeah, man, you take a $1,500 cash injection from one kill. That is fantastic. And Sampi got 7-3. That was the gun run for Rare Atom as well. But I just love how Sampi throw themselves at Rare Atom because they also know how important the round is. And they probably have a pretty good idea that Rare Atom are going to play a bit more of a default, right? Because the contact plays haven't been working. So it was a really good opportunity to bring something out of the playbook into the round here for Sampi. Something out of the ordinary. Great timing on that call from the Eli. And now Rare Atom again, it's pistols and armor for them. It's going to be pace in towards middle. They forced Fino back, but how do they convert this position into a round win? They're going to be looking for a bomb plant, but Fino's cut one down.
Look, yeah, they forced Fino back, but it's very similar to playing like A with an AWP. You can just keep on falling back, keep on posting up on different separate angles, and then in the meantime, Savannah has a really nice hole as the anchor, and Fino, as I said, you can just keep on falling back, you can keep on posting on different angles, and Sampi, that was just a really clean 8. These have been last like 4 or 5 rounds have just been super clean, and Rare Atom haven't felt like they've had a single rebuttal. It does just feel like the Child King and Risk show, and that was this a sentiment I shared on Inferno, and it feels like we're kind of having it right now again here. Liang had a really nice step up on Inferno. Maybe he is someone that I need to see a little bit more from.
Yeah, right there with you, man. He's the guy we highlighted the most coming into the series for Rare Atom, but he just hasn't pitched up yet on Anubis. 8-3, 1 round left in this half. So much left to be desired here from Rare Atom. Just feels like they haven't really been able to get into this half. Mangus is going to fall back behind the molly. Zedko's ahead of it. He's got the support flash to play, support smoke rather, but he was forced forward by the molly. They knew he was there because he had taken a couple ticks as well. So a rare opening kill here for Rare Atom.
Yeah, I actually can't remember the last time they had an opening kill and then the advantage to go onto a bomb site with only one player there. And Mangus, I praised him for his anchoring on Inferno, but anchoring that B bomb site is maybe one of the hardest things to do. And I think it is actually the hardest position to play in the whole game. So only able to get good for one, but the bomb's been dropped. The bomb's dropped on the cross. In the meantime, Savannah's AUG has got one at range, but now it's just that AWP left alone. They know where he is. Bomb's going to be picked up. There's a bit of blockage. So Liang tapping the digits in. Fino has a kit, has 2 flashes, but the AWP all of a sudden is not the weapon for this job. It's very difficult clearing these close angles, but he'll do it acutely. Somehow survives the trade. How has he not got it? Liang, I was calling upon him. He had a great Inferno. The flashbang is good, and you know what? He makes up for it. Fino unsuccessful in the 1 versus 2.
Yeah, and I feel like Rare Atom really needed that round as well going into the second half because Sampi actually do most of their work on Anubis on the T side. So Rare Atom had to at least collect 1 extra round going into their CT side. But Sampi are going to feel very good about their output there on that CT half. Zedko 12 and 5, he was fantastic throughout, and everybody else chipped in. Well-rounded performance. Must-win pistol round now for the Chinese team as well.
Yeah, it was a really big round to end off the half. I think 9-3 and 8-4 have very different connotations. Like 8-4 just looks so much nicer. I think it's so easy to come back from an 8-4. You just win a pistol round, you win 1 gun round, and boom, you're back. Sampi though, a run boost into a 4-man stacked B bomb site. I said there was 4, now there's just 1. Liang does get a multi. He's been able to get the reload off. He's been able to retreat. Summers now joined him, but Liang will finally fall, and Mangus, well, it's a hat-trick of his own that gives Sampi a very crucial pistol round.
Yeah, while he's backpedaling as well, he realizes he's going to get rushed down and he has to take the gunfight, man. He can't afford to just jump around the corner and get back to safety. And that pistol round should lock in the map here for Sampi as far as I'm concerned. Oh, look at Mangus. Yeah, he knows I can't get back to safety. I'm going to have to take the gunfight. And I think with like the last bullet in the magazine, he gets the kill.
Easy, man.
The penultimate, but yeah, too easy for Mangus. He's definitely been a shining light for Sampi in the series so far. And
yeah,
Sampi,
man.
They've just got to be kicking themselves a little bit that they didn't finish off things on Inferno. I mean, they had that map point.
They had the map point. They also had the comeback. They had the low buy wins. They really had everything. Yeah, I think this is going to go to a third map. And I honestly think it still should have been done 2-0. It's just that maybe poor call on round 24 to pop out apartments.
Got to put that behind them, though. Focus on the occasion at hand. Win here, finish off the job on Anubis, and then take it to that third and final map. It is going to be Mirage if we go the distance. It's been a while since I've got to cast a Mirage. My favorite map.
Wait, Hayes, hold on a second. It is a
Okay.
5 versus 3.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not concerned. It's all good. They've only got USPs.
I don't know.
Egan and Mac 10. No armor.
I don't know, dude.
Everything's going to be fine.
Look, the bomb's about to get dropped.
Oh,
The
it
bomb's
is.
being flanked.
Oh,
The
okay.
bomb's being
It's not
flanked.
fine, it's
Somebody
not
gets
fine.
the spray transfer. It's the full
Panic.
eco. They have no right in winning this. It all started off because of a USP from Summer. The Deagle gets 2 from Liang. And somebody, he creeps up behind them. Sampi, they have no idea what's just hit them. A taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, true. They did that twice on Inferno, but it's such a elaborate approach from Sampi against the eco as well. It's such an extra play to try and go through middle and then wrap around onto the B bomb site. And it works out against them. It was probably a product of the situation in terms of the position they ended up on. You know, like a mid-round decision to go for that play, but oh, it just ends up working out against them. And that's a huge let-off for Rare Atom. And if there was a way in which they were going to remain in this map, it was by winning the eco. So that's just a very big reprieve.
Crazy round. Crazy game, and we were just talking about, oh, Mirage is up next. Bro, we cursed it. I don't know if we're going to be seeing Mirage anymore. That's the type
Okay,
of round
listen,
that...
Hold on. Let's just...
Oh,
reel it
okay.
in, Fred.
Yeah,
Just
you
calm
know.
down.
Okay, I'll reel it in for a second, but you gotta let me cook here, because Rare Atom, so are they. Look, like 6... It'd be 6 to 9. And then they're gonna be on eco, so it's 7-9. Unless they win a Deagle round again, because, like, obviously, right?
I mean, it would just be disastrous. Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind.
Okay.
I was going to say it would be disastrous for Rare Atom if they lose this round, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
That's
After
exactly
they've
what's
won an
happening.
eco, and they got an opening kill here as well, mate. They got the first frag of the round, and it's the only kill that they're going to get in the round.
There's like a really cool micro where they feigned that they were going to be going towards B, so it actually pulled all the anchors and it just pulled the rotations away from the A bomb side, but you could almost tell that the plan was to still hold steady. They were always going to go towards that A bomb site, but they wanted just to fake out the presence towards B, and they did so by getting a kill. So you're giving yourself the, I think a 4 versus 4 it was at that time, while also faking out the presence. Maybe it was even a 4 versus 3, I think. Yeah, because then there was no one on A, and then the Alive was able to creep up heaven. So Sampi, just a genuine 10 out of 10 round. And as you said, it all started with Child King in the opener, and that is all they get. Nullified here. Sampi, what a bounce back.
Well, let's just keep up with the pattern, and Rare Atom can win this round back here as well. I mean, they have to. They absolutely have to if they're going to keep themselves in Anubis. At least they've got the insurance of a third map guaranteed, which is looking highly likely at this point. Great timing from Zedko there. Lihang trying to drop the smoke at the front of E-Box. It's going to, what's actually a molly rather, but doesn't matter. Zedko still gets the kill and he figures out somebody's position, and he's inflicted damage. Mangus will get the trade. B-bomb side opened up. Quick rotations coming through to regain that control here for Rare Atom, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Oh my god, Mangus, that is disgusting, taking down Child King through the smoke. At least for the CTs, both of their remaining players are on this B-bomb side right now. Dancing amongst the smoke grenades is risk, but he will fall to the E-Live. Multi-kill for the IGL, and Sampi take a massive step in the direction of Mirage.
Yeah, man, Stewie 2K, move out the way. Sampi, they are the new smoke criminals. Mangus is having a stellar performance. Like, I feel like I'm just banging on about it, but he is consistently giving me reasons to praise him. And Rare Atom put themselves in the most uncomfortable positions. 4 spies are going to be back to back no matter what. Maybe if they win the round, there's going to be some sort of money, and that's a great start. Okay, Liang's scout rings off, cracks open the cranium, and even gets a tag on Mangus. This scout has done so much damage, but overstays his welcome, and Fino is able to get revenge while also saving his teammate. Okay, it's all falling apart for Rare Atom.
I mean, it was a nice kill coming through from Li Hang, and, or was it, yeah, it was Li Hang, right? And then he gets the tag on Mangus. That's why he hangs around, because Mangus is stuck behind the pillar, but Fino just bails out Mangus so nicely. Just very good teamwork there, swinging and getting that kill instantly. Alleviates so much pressure. Now it's just about putting the finishing touches on the round. Mangus has the bomb, Fino in tow. Child King is going to have to produce something ridiculous here with the Desert Eagle. Will need at least 2 kills. Bare minimum 2 kills coming through here if he's going to leave Summer in any sort of position to win the round. And Child King will get cleared, but there's the first.
Any more? Nope. And Savannah even reads that Summer's coming from Connected. That's map point. We're going to Mirage. Sampi, as we've reiterated a few times, the sentiment of could have done it in 2. Could have done it on Inferno, should have done it on Inferno, and they've really ramped up their abilities here. Rare Atom, there's been no, like, apart from a low buy round here or there, and yeah, actually just a low buy, there's been no real moments where I've been singing the praise of Rare Atom. Sampi, they've been all over them.
Yeah, it's been a great display here from Sampi on Anubis so far, and they're 1 round away from seeing the light of Mirage, and they should be able to do it here considering the lack of an investment from Rare Atom. MP9s across the board being dealt with in kind. I mean, the E-Live has come alive here in a big
round
way.
over.
Yeah, it is. And well, if it wasn't before, it certainly is now, because Mangus has all the information that Child King's over towards A. They take B with force. And it will have to be a very unlikely retake here for Rare Atom if they're just going to keep themselves in the map. I mean, we saw a 12-5 comeback from G2 yesterday at IEM Dallas to force overtime. I don't think Rare Atom have it in them, man. I'm just going to put that out there. I know it's a hot take, but that's where I stand.
How dare you, Hayes?
I know.
How dare you? They have come and they should be
celebrated.
It's possible. Oh my god, they're actually winning it. Oh no. Okay, they get the first 2, and it made me believe. It made me believe. And for Sampi, yeah, this is exactly what I anticipated from them. I was very impressed with Rare Atom on map 1. They just about edge out their own map pick in overtime, but now I think we're kind of going back to normality. Mirage, though, you did say it's going to be a very exciting game. If we do make it to this 3rd map, which we now have, I think I favor Sampi. I don't know if you still share that same sentiment.
I do favor Sampi, but I think that Mirage will lend itself to Rare Atom's strengths a lot more than a map like Anubis will, so I'm not counting Rare Atom out at all. Remember, Sampi also don't have a great Mirage either, so there could be some frailties there that get exposed. Either way, we're going to have to wait a little bit before we do get into that 3rd and final map. First game of the day, don't go too far. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, it will be that decider.
Tired of boring case openings? Do you always get only cheap skins? The Hellcase website has tons of options to upgrade your inventory. It's up to you to participate in giveaways, events, or compete with other players in opening cases. Hellcase, your world of expensive skins.
Do you have any unnecessary skins or want to sell them? Try Skin Place. Visit the website, select the skins you want to use. Easily fill your Steam trade link. Make sure we offer good prices and choose a payment method. Hit the button and boom! Instant cash. Safety. Low commissions. Instant payouts. Skin Place.
What's a super stream game? It's an extension that provides a valuable and engaging game within the stream you are watching. Join an active community and test your knowledge in a live race against expert chasers by answering trivia, prediction,
Sampi proved why they are the favourites by dominantly winning out their map pick 13-5 on Anubis, and we had the conversation of it probably could have and should have been a 2-0. Sampi, they had the opportunity on Inferno to close it out. They had map point in regulation. They threw it away to an XM on Apartments, lost it in overtime subsequently, and now on Mirage, Sampi, sure they have a lot of reps, but they don't look too great on the map.
Yeah, it's a sketchy map for them, I would say. You know, Rare Atom, I think their playstyle will actually be pretty good on Mirage in general. And I was even speculative of Sampi's decision to go to Mirage, the Decider, and the Veto instead of Ancients. I know Ancients is a map that Rare Atom are comfortable on, but I'll echo the same points as the favorite. I think you should be playing to your own strengths and not playing to your opponent's weaknesses. So, yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to Mirage. I think it could be a very entertaining map. I was going to say the most entertaining map, but Inferno was definitely a banger as well, right?
Yeah, like, we can't discredit Inferno, but... So, do you remember at the very start I was talking about how, I was basically mentioning that Rare Atom, their playstyle, like, it can be great, but it can also be their downfall. Like, it's the very thing that builds them up can also bring them down. And Mirage was the very first time I saw this against Nom when they had a 12-6 lead on the T side, and then we're just like going through these weird, like, okay, one player would just walk out Palace, one player would just walk out mid, one player would walk out ramp or whatever, and like, that is because it's their, that's how they play Counter-Strike. It's very reactionary. It's very based off feels, and
the very thing which builds them up does bring them down. However, can they not let that happen? So on the T side, as I just mentioned, I've seen them throw away an extensive lead on this half, starting on the pistol. Good smoke towards stairs, Mollo towards triple, and he'll be bursting onto the sides.
Oh, somebody actually didn't take as much damage from the dink as I'd expected, maybe clipping through the edge of triple. Rare Atom have really enjoyed themselves. A direct and pacey pistol round. Zetko through the smoke has denied the bomb blast. He's looking for more as well. The smoke criminal. He's found 2 kills. The plant will eventually be completed, but Risk is the only player left alive, and he's going to get taken down by the flanker.
Well, you can have pace, but you have to have sturdiness alongside that. Sampi. Oh. They actually get 6 kills on the board. Okay. 1 on Magnus. They're like, Mangus, you've had a great series so far. How dare you? Yeah, Sampi, great round. Just a great hold all in all. Just a little bit unfortunate that we had a bit of tomfoolery at the end there.
Yeah, who was that knifed him actually?
The Alive, I think, knifed Mangus.
Okay, so I guess it's just like the captain keeping everybody in check, right? Like IFS kind of thing.
He's also keeping them on his feet. You think like, you think you're safe? No.
Yeah. And Mangus was like, hey guys, I'm thinking next round maybe we should stabbed in the back. The Eli's like, brother, I make the calls here, mate.
Yeah. You don't think anything. You don't think nothing.
Yeah, you think what I tell you to think, alright?
Yeah, you think, nothing. Exactly.
If I want your opinion, I'll give it to you.
It's the apex moment of, just like, yeah, they can make a call, I probably won't listen to it though.
But they're welcome to, you know,
Yeah, they're welcome to
raised.
say it. Yeah. I'm more than welcome to. I just probably won't use it or listen to it.
Alright, well,
It's actually a
here we
force
go.
buy from Rare Atom.
Yeah, they get the bomb plant, so it's a pretty good looking investment, right? They've got Galils to work with, and Risk is in a good position, but Fino was privy to it. And that nade, yeah, gonna finish him off. Nice little 1-2 punch between Mangus and Fino. You got a player in connector as well, Child King, in a very awkward position. And it's not the start to the force buy Rare Atom would have been hoping for.
Like, I know this isn't the primest of examples, but I think this is a round that's an example of kind of what I was talking about, where they've got this default and every single player dies isolated. Like, there's players walking out of Palace, out of Ramp, out of Connector, out of Underpass, and like, they're together and they've got some sort of like contingency, or like consistency with how the fact they are together, but they don't do anything off that, and they actually are just isolated, and it's almost like they feel like they play very individualistically, even though they're in close proximity to each other. Great from Zedco and Connector though. He really impressed me with how he, like, I didn't think he'd be able to spot out him in Connector. Especially considering that, like, there was players up short. I think that was really good awareness from Zedco. So very well done from Zedco. Just making sure it was as clean as possible.
Should be a clean round here as well for Rare Atom. It's just a couple pistols. A clean round for Sampi, rather. Rare Atom only have the pistols, so not much going their way here. You gotta remember that there has to be a bit of a consideration for the momentum here for Sampi, right? Because they completely demolished Rare Atom on Anubis. There was never really much of a contest, a 13-5 scoreline. So they're definitely the team with their wind in their sails coming into this third and final map, and that can often play a role in the deciding map. First gun round, Freddy. First opportunity here for Rare Atom to piece together a full arsenal of weaponry. No AWP for Risk, and outside of the AWP, we haven't actually seen him contribute a huge amount, right? I mean, you think about that first half of Inferno, he was basically nowhere to be found. Second half, sure, the CT side of Inferno lends itself a lot more to the success of an AWPer, but he didn't have the AWP much in that first half. But once he did get it, he was able to really contribute. So just hoping that we will see him with the AWP here regularly throughout the map.
Yeah, and it's actually my goat Mangus as the first player to fall, but as soon as he falls, everything tips into the scales of Sampi. Fino, maybe even prepared to catch somebody off guard if he does overextend, but I think the Molotov, not going to tick him. I think the T-side Molotov would have ticked him, but the Incendiary doesn't, because of where he is. And now Rare Atom, they're in a position where they're 3 versus 4, they got the opening kill, and they've got 3 players on 3 different parts of the map. How did they play this that they can actually succeed, and how do they even build up together?
Well, they've got some time to work with. They've got utility as well, and it looks like they're going to try and make their way through middle. They're going to play off of Lee Hang's position at ramp. Going to try and join up with him. The question is, who's going to take the contact? I think Lee Hang's going to play off of his teammates coming through connector. Really leaving this one late here. About to hit that 30-second mark, and they haven't yet gotten out of connector. Nice molly, though. Forces Zedco out of position. They'll hear the ticks, and they should realize he's been forced forward. That's why Risk just forces the fight. A great support flash there comes through from Lee Hang. But are they aware of the E-Live in sandwich right now? Risk is going to be clearing it out. That's brilliant awareness from the youngster. Okay,
well,
never mind.
okay.
Scrap the point I made at the start of the round with Risk and his AWP, because apparently he can do it with the AK as well.
And he's going for a 4th. Oh, just walks through the smoke, punishes Savannah. And yeah, look, Rare Atom of 3 versus 4, and I'm not gonna lie, it didn't look too great for them. Guess what? Risk goes from having 0 kills to having 4 kills by the end of that round, so fantastic performance from him. And even better, he's able to upgrade the AWP that's been picked off Fino's dead body. Sampi, that's a round that they know they had dead to rights, and they have squandered.
Yeah, man advantage, and it's not like Rare Atom have been able to get side control. They really didn't have much going for them at all there at that point in the 4v3, but just a really good recovery. Good plan there, and executed brilliantly as well. Good way for Rare Atom to get the ball rolling. It would be even better though if they could string consecutive rounds together, because then they start to build up some momentum, and they also break the economy on the CT side. So pretty good opportunity presents itself right now for this T side.
Oh, Rare Atom actually get quite a perfect timing, because the Alive was there to take contact and ramp and drop a smoke. Now instead he's on the ladder. This is an awkward position to be in. Zedko runs through the triple smoke. However, how has somebody got onto side? I don't think he's jumped out of Palace, but Zedko's done enough. Actually, these A anchors, they've had a superb performance. Both picking up a brace, and Savannah swoops in for the final frag, even claiming the AWP as well. Sampi, that is actually an insane hold.
Yeah, that was really impressive from Zedko in particular, because he forces himself into that bomb site, uses his nade to clear out the smoke, and that exposes the direct gunfight, gets the first, but the second kill was the key frag from Zedko, because that's what sends Rare Atom into disarray. The Elive in the meantime is still just in the smoke, and he's allowing for the situation to marinate before he then activates as well, and then a great double kill comes through from him to lock in the round. So yeah, I'm right there with you. The A anchors, fantastic job coming through from them on the CT side. Rare Atom sent back into 4 spy territory, and if they lose this round, the decider starts to end up in a pretty precarious position for them at that point.
Atom just seems like they're going to go for another contact play, this time over towards B. Here comes the flashes. Mangas are going to come rotate into short to help out Savannah. Just perfect. It's once again just really nice holds, but this time on the other extremity, we've seen the Alive and Zedko perform over on A, and now we see Savannah and Magnus perform over on B. It's honestly very clinical.
And that's a problem for Rare Atom, because you knock on the door on the A bomb site, you get sent packing. You have a look in at the opposite side of the map, you get demolished again. So it's like, well, kind of left scratching our heads. Where are we going to go from here, lads? That's where you bring out a pause, right? Coach Freddy, just break the game up, slow things down, just bring everybody back to front and center. Try and cook up some sort of a plan, because this third and final map is getting away from Rare Atom at a rate of knots.
You know, that was... this is like a really scary position for Rare Atom to be in, because it's like, okay, you've won a really nice a round where you were in a disadvantage, but it was also a round where you got the opening kill, and then you instantly lost 2, and then had to have Risk getting a 4K to win it out. You've tested B, you've tested A, nothing has worked. As you said, it's just like, it's an iron rule, it's an iron fist everywhere. And I guess that's what happens when the Alive just rules with this dominance. He sends terror down everybody, and he's like, you must abide by me. You must hold your bomb sites.
Oh my goodness, yeah, Mangus is just holding them at bay. He is laying down the law.
He's my new favorite player.
Yeah, he might be the best in the world.
I think he is.
Oh no, wait, sorry. That is the Gun 5 players. Let's not get ahead.
Oh yeah. That is Selter and Finnegan in a final.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Finnegan with the
right?
deagle. Nah, Tanir wasn't. He was good as.
Classic though, right? How classic would that be? Alright, well, look at this gun round here. Oh my goodness. Well, Rare Atom have tried A, that didn't work. They tried B, that didn't work. There's one option left on that list, Freddy, and it's towards mid, and Sampi have read into that exactly. Zedko charges through into mid, 3 kills from him. He goes up 13 and 2. And we might as well just wrap this one up and put a bow on it, because I don't see how Rare Atom are getting back into this game.
You can wrap me up and put a bow on me, but
Ooh. Content me with a good time.
Ah, see you in Sweden. But Sam, like, look, we've.
What?
I don't know. It's probably where we'll see each other at one stage. Just seems right.
True, actually.
But like, Sampi Sure, the 7-1 up. We have seen a 7-1 lead today already, and it went to an overtime. So, I don't wanna say anything. This could still be, but like Rare Atom, they're literally just going for these, like, they're just playing as 5, and they just try 'em. And the operative word is just they're trying. Like, they're doing everything they can to try and force themselves out. How is the Alive still alive? How is he alive? How is he still getting these frags? He's actually on for the ace!
Oh.
That's the 4! Finally, Liang puts an end to that madness. But the IGL on the A-bomb side has a, what, 4, 5, 6 KD right now? He's insane!
5. That's the number. 5. But
Got
yeah,
one of them,
he
right.
has- yeah, just throw out 3 options. You're bound to be correct somewhere there, man. But you're right, the E-Live is very much alive, and it was a brilliant sequence of kills coming through from him. Can we have a pause here for Rare Atom, please? Please, can we just slow things down? I
Bro,
feel like
they're
they're
just done.
losing. I think they're losing every single one of these rounds in the first 30 seconds. Summer's got a Glock. Why do you have a Glock, Summer? You've got $3,000. Your team is full bought, mate. You should have an AK. He's got a pistol, Freddy. Might not be a problem. But he's realized now his transgressions. Should be able to pick up somebody's gun at least. But Summer's 1 for 9. Either way, bomb plant will come through. This is by far and wide the best position Rare Atom have been in the past few rounds. Can they make it work?
Crumble. Yep, just 2 nades on Risk. He's on 8 HP, and he just...
That's so disjointed.
What's going on?
The AWP is swinging first to try and take contact. CT, the rifle is like 3 meters behind him.
And then flashed off as well. Like, I want to say, this is great from Sampi. Like, Risk got double naded from 100 HP to 8. There's also a great support of flashbang. I think that was from Mangus. So just overall, great play from Sampi. But there's no deliberation that was just horrific from Rare Atom. Like, this whole game is.
Yeah, like I said, man, I mean, Summer didn't even buy up an AK at the start of the round there. I really would like a pause. They need to slow things down. I feel like Rare Atom are losing these rounds in the first 30 seconds. Just play a passive default, lads. You know, 2-2-1. You know, 1 player watching lowers, 1 player watching apps, couple players top mid, you know, 1 guy patrolling Palace and Ramp, and just slow down the pace. Let Sampi use their util, and then set yourselves up with a basic exec, because you're losing the first pick of the round pretty much every single time in the first 10 or 15 seconds, and it'll just continue to snowball out of control. To Sampi's credit, they are completely bullying Rare Atom right now, and it's exactly what you should be doing in a situation like this.
This is actually unfair, and there's not a single component in this well-oiled machine of Sampi that isn't pulling its weight. Like, you just go anywhere for Rare Atom, and you're meeting a brick wall. Savannah, though, is gonna fool... You know what? I should just stop speaking. Because, you know what? A lot of people might like that. But as soon as I say that Sampi have no weak component, they're just about to lose a 4 versus 2. So, of course, why not, right?
They're also aware of the flank, because Zedko was the player who pushed through lowers to get the kills. This was a 5v3, no? Either way, fully prepared for Zedko to come through from Palace. It looks like they must have heard an audio cue or something. Both players just posted up looking in that direction. Yeah, there we go. Util gonna get dumped here by Zedko, just trying to give himself a bit of room to work with coming out of Palace, but Risk will cut him down. 3 kills coming through from Risk. And Rare Atom double up their round count in some unlikely fashion. Sampi get ahead of themselves a little bit there, man.
Like, I yes and no, because, like, Fido's just in CT, like, he's holding CT, right? And Savannah's holding Murder. Like, it was a round where I think Sampi are in good positions, they're just not playing really off each other, and Rare Atom do just isolate those duels really nicely. Also, I want to mention, Risk has got 7 out of his 8 kills in the 2 rounds that they've won, so his, like, RWS right now is through the roof. Like, he's, you know, he's only getting kills when they win. And he's only getting multi-frags. But we need to see more consistency out of him. Because, sure, if he's the single reason why they're winning those rounds, maybe he should get more kills outside of them.
Yeah, hopefully, I'll have to see if that's going to be the case or not. Alright. Big gun round here for Rare Atom. Last round of the half, ready. Last opportunity for Rare Atom to add another round to their tally. I mean, does 9-3 give you any faith at all?
I don't know. I personally don't see this as a comeback for Rare Atom, and I think we're going to be having actually a bit of break before the next series, which seemed weird, thinking we had an overtime in map 1. God bless MR12. God bless Sampi on Mirage, I guess.
God bless Zedko into mid once again. He's been the damage dealer up until this point, and he will get in on the act once again. A man advantage for the CT side, but you can see that Sampi, I feel like they've learned from the previous round with some slight overextensions, because this time they have just kept things a bit more composed.
You were saying?
Well, I mean, they didn't just try and rush up middle to chase that player down. So at least
I don't know,
you
the Alive
recognize
does just
their
swing out.
That's
I don't know, the Alive did just swing out before those flashes, but Zedko, you actually mentioned him and you said, like, he's been a talisman of this roster.
Yes.
And in this server right now, 17 and 6. What? Child kick? Wow, okay. That got a little bit scary. Luckily, the Alive's got a 3 KD. See, I got it right this time, Hayes. You're proud of me? I'm learning. I can do maths. And Sampi 10-2 off the backbone of a 3K from Zedko. Every single player is just demolishing Rare Atom right now. It's a bloodbath on the server, but it's not for Sampi.
Yeah, and the irony is that Rare Atom won the first gun round, and normally if you can win the first gun round on the T side, that gives you a pretty good inclination that, you know, you've got something to work with, but that was one of 2 rounds they won. The other one was a unlikely 3v5, so yeah, just nothing to go off here for Rare Atom. It's going to be 5 sets of armor coming into the pistol round here as well, but indecisive with the setup. A-Hang going to join up with Risk on that A-bomb site. They've got Summer Connector, Child King middle, and then somebody, not sure who, is playing B-bomb site by himself.
There's an unknown man. Somebody! That's what you meant.
Yes, exactly. You got the joke.
I got the joke.
The Molly missed the mark, by the way.
But the guns and do not. There's a player coming out. It's Liang. He was tucked in firebox. No one cleared him. Zedko still doesn't care. He was still very much alive when Zedko was fighting CT. He was like, guys, you got it. Don't worry.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, he trusts. You know what? I wish I had a teammate that trusted me that much. Zedko,
Yeah,
with all that
exactly.
trust, he's like, guys, I got my thing going on. You got your thing going on. I'm gonna kill them CT. You might kill the guy on site. But yeah, that is, if the nail wasn't in the coffin, he's got like a warhammer, and it's just like Gandalf's like that into the ground, like game
Yeah, Gandalf stuff.
series over. Yeah, I don't know what
He's
Gandalf
20 and
stuff
6
is,
right
but
now. What's that KDR, Freddy?
huh?
20 and 6?
20 and 6. 3.8.
No, it's less than that, but it was a tough one. I just throwing you a curveball there, man.
6, 12, 18. 3.3?
Maybe like 3.4 or something like that.
3.4?
Yeah. Somewhere between.
Bro, it's like the one thing I don't do.
Yeah, maths on stream is always a brave one.
Maths? No. Maths just in real life for me.
I enjoy maths, honestly. I mean, I was actually sitting with the homie in Discord a couple nights ago. We were doing some simultaneous equations to pass the time.
Shut up.
Yeah, no, honestly, like, honest to God.
What even is a simultaneous equation?
It's where you have to solve for 2 variables within the same equation, right? So then you solve for x in terms of y, you
Oh,
substitute it back
yeah.
into the equation, and then you can solve for y.
Okay.
afterwards.
Simultaneous equation, I remember that was actually something I could do before. That was like an easy maths.
They can get complicated though, like the baseline ones
Yeah.
are definitely simple, but they get elaborate. Either way, this is an elaborate round here from Sampi. Quite a lot of damage has been done, but they've got themselves a man advantage. They've got the site as well, but they don't have a Pheno.
It's going to take a phenom for Rare Atom to win this round. However, Sure, Risk dies, but he drops Savannah to 11. Therefore, 38 HP combined between the two Sampi players. Somebody now puts it into the 1 versus 1. Does not know where Mangus is. How somebody rotating from the B-bomb site. He's making a lot of noise. He has no kit. And yep, Mangus perfectly executed. A great symphony. And Sampi, now, they surge to map and series points. They have been just dominant left, right, and center on this map pick. The only 2 rounds that Rare Atom have won is because Risk got a 4K and then a 3K.
Yeah, that is not sustainable as far as I'm concerned, and it's just brutal, man. You think back to the
He's still
Inferno,
warm.
Rare Atom looked so good. Yeah, he made it before the start of the map, guys. That just tells you all you need to know. 12-2, Sampi have got 10 map and series points here, 10 chances to open up the Swiss stage with a victory and close out our first game for the day. Another force buy for Rare Atom, and if they lose this, then obviously it means they don't even get a single gun round on their CT side, which is always so brutal to go on and lose a map. Good premeditated peek there coming through from Risk. He was prepared for Zetko to push through the smoke and try and make something happen stairs, and Fino's low, but that doesn't mean he can't frag.
Hey man, you know what they say, Risk gets a kill, the round is won, but the issue we have for Rare Atom is that Mangus is in market? How? What? Did he get boosted into window, or like...
Did he just no clip there?
I saw him walking from
No,
Murder
no,
Hole,
no,
but then
that's
I'm
only
looking at
information.
Child King, and like
Yeah,
Child King's
exactly.
in Murder Hole, and it's like, what's Bro done? Is
There's
Bro a
no way
wizard?
back with Mangus's position. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
the
that
issue-
confused him, but
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say, the issue he has is that he actually had this great, like, really advanced position, and then now he's just kind of come back to, like, normality. Like, he's just in, like, just a normal position, so
but he got the
probably...
team into the spot with the bomb.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. That's a very good point. 3 versus 4. They have got the first kill, Rare Atom. Mangus playing around market. That is a great shot of the Child King. Spots one more short and has the awareness that Summer is going to be approaching from that smoke. Zedko leads the charge with 21 frags. Sampi secure map 3. They secure the series. They are your first team to go 1-0 in the main Swiss here in the European Online Series 5 with a dominant 13-2 victory over their Chinese counterparts.
I told you all along, Freddy, that it was a very good decision for Sampi to leave Mirage as the decider and veto Ancient there in that last
Shit.
phase. Yeah, no, listen, I was second guessing their choice, but they absolutely proved me wrong. It was a great display coming through from Sampi. Masterclass on Mirage. Zedko, I mean, he did tear Rare Atom a new one. Mate, there wasn't a
Yeah.
single, not one, uno, Ian in Afrikaans.
Uno, dos, tres.
No,
Sorry.
just one. There was no pause. Not one tactical pause for Rare Atom throughout that map, and they lost 13-2. I mean, that in itself is just... You've got to wonder, like, the decision-making there. You know, having a look on HLTV, they've got a coach, Z8Z, but, I mean, he didn't even relay any thoughts through in a break, mate. Like, what's going on there, then?
Yeah, like, I actually completely agree with you. Like, it just felt like the game, they were just rolling over. Like, it honestly
exactly.
felt like that game was just done and dusted. And now, Sampi, that's a pretty clean Mirage. And it's a Mirage that they've really been struggling on in the last 3 months. They played a lot, but don't tend to do too well. But Zedko, my god, what a performance. 21-8, 133 ADR, with also 6 opening frags. Like, that's actually a phenomenal performance. However,
Yeah.
the fun does not stop.
No, the
We've
fun
got-
never stops. The fun never stops at CCT, mate. That's what it's about. That's what
Yeah.
we're here for.
Yeah, we've got Gun 5, the reigning CCT champions, crowned
players in the
yesterday. Best players in the freaking world. They've beaten 2 top 30 teams to go from the close qualifier to win the last European series. We had the pleasure of being a part of that grand final. You know, Finnegan, best player of all time. Celta, best player of all time. Easy and Tinner, best players of all time. Issue is, they actually lost to Permitter in the group stage. They actually got eliminated originally by Permitter in the CCT group stage, but then for the playoffs, let me read the exact thing that given. So, despite losing in the Swiss stage 2-2 against Permitter, by the way, they got destroyed. Match as a they couldn't find a suitable playoffs invited team, so Gun 5, then who were 2 and 3 in the main Swiss, got put up to playoffs, and then went and won the whole damn thing.
Yeah, it was a magnificent run from Gun 5, but they've got their work cut out for them. Permitter going to be their opponents. Ruby versus Havu, the third game of the day. We'll round it out with Eyeballers versus Space. We're not going to harp on about that next game, though, because we're going to bring you all the details in the pre-game in about 15 minutes or so, guys. So enjoy the break. Freddy and I are just going to top up on some refreshments, and we will be back with Permitter versus Gun 5 in about 15 minutes or so don't go too far.
You look into your inventory and there's only... It's time to forget about this garbage. Here you will find everything to play with really cool skins. Open top cases. Upgrade dropped skins and turn your junk into a cool gun using the contract system. Every day, thousands of people upgrade their inventory with us. Hellcase.com. Look at yourself in a new way.
Do you have any unnecessary skins or want to sell them? Try Skinplace. Visit the website, select the skins you want to use. Easily fill your Steam trade link. Make sure we offer good prices and choose a payment method. Hit the button and boom, instant cash. Safety. Low commissions. Instant payouts. Skinplace.
What's a super stream game? It's an extension that provides a valuable and engaging game within the stream you are watching. Join an active community and test your knowledge in a live race against expert chasers by answering trivia, prediction, and recall questions tailored to the content you are watching.
Trying to get the skin of your dream for a long time but can't get it in any way? On our website, you have a unique opportunity to get your favorite knife. Users on our site can hand out skins themselves, and participants need to fulfill some simple conditions. For example, watch a video or buy a case on our website. After that, you automatically become a member of the distribution. Go to the user giveaways tab and do what you like. Hellcase.
Do you have any unnecessary skins or want to sell them? Try Skin Place. Visit the website, select the skins you want to use. Easily fill your Steam trade link. Make sure we offer good prices and choose a payment method. Hit the button and boom! Instant cash. Safety. Low commissions. Instant payouts. Skin Place.
What's a super stream game? It's an extension that provides a valuable and engaging game within the stream you are watching. Join an active community and test your knowledge in a live race against expert chasers by answering trivia, prediction, and recall questions tailored to the content you are watching.
It would be classic CCT fashion if a team went from beating a top 20 opponent and winning a CCT tournament literally less than 24 hours ago, to now going
Furia
0 and
well.
1. Against Furia and Gamer Legion, all those teams, right? It would be poetic, and it would just be so CCT for them to come into this game and lose to Permitter and go 0 and 1 in the bracket.
Yeah, very true, mate. It would certainly, it would be part of the grain. It would go with the grain if that was the result. Either way, I think Gun 5, I'd still probably have them as my favorites here, but the fact that they aren't outright favorites also says a lot, right? So it should be a pretty close game. I am expecting all three maps. I think Permitter's form has been improving as of late. They've finally gotten out of that massive slump. They lost 13 out of 15 BO3s, but they've made a couple changes since then. We could probably, I think we'll bring the Swiss stage up. Nah, let's go straight into the rosters. I like that production. Good call. No, it was the right call, production. I like that. Tomiko's come into the team recently, and they've got Marcos listed here. I think it's Spava Q, though, who's on HLTV. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's with Spava Q, because he's also looked really good, man. Like, he played a game for Permitter against Enterprise, and he fragged like crazy. So I'm keen to see him firsthand here.
True. Yeah, true, man. It was like they lost the series, but he was basically at the top of the scoreboard. I was thinking for Tomiko, like, this guy is at 9, right? And he gets loaned to ITB. He comes back to 9, gets put in the academy team, and then gets loaned to Permitter. And it's like, he can't catch a break. Like, he was a part of that Los Kagutos roster that went to AGO and, was having, like, quite a lot of success internationally, like really impressive, and I feel like he's just been struggling to find his feet ever since. But this Permitter roster, I think on the face of it is like, Mari from that Los Agudos roster. So you've got Tomiko and Mari grouping up together now, and then Marston and Morels have been a duo for God knows like how long. These guys I feel like on Illumina and even previous before that have played together at a countless occasion and are a really oppressive duo, but then their results haven't quite been depicting it. But as I said, like, they did make it to playoffs last CCT, and I think for a team like this, making playoffs and losing like first round, let's say, is very much fine in my opinion.
Yeah, the one stable factor for this roster has actually been Beanox as well. So, he's been hitting pretty hard. He's in some good individual form, and Permitter, even when they aren't in great form as a team, I feel like they're still always capable of an upset. Like, when they're the favorites, I'm skeptical, but when they're in the game as an underdog, you can never write them off. Let's look at their opponents, Gun 5, though. We got to see this team in action. You were the host for that game I was casting yesterday, where they beat Furia in a grand final after Furia had just cleaned up Miles NXT 2-0 in very convincing fashion. So, Gun 5 are in fantastic form at the moment, coming off the back of a really good win. It'll do a world of good for their confidence, but now I want to see consistency from this Gun 5 team, not just a flash in the pan where they have a great playoff run and then they lose to like Permitter. No shots at Permitter, but I want to see this consistency and stability from Gun 5.
Do you know what's crazy? Is that
To me.
Gun 5 beat Furia yesterday on Dust 2 and Nuke.
Yes.
13-11, 13-9. Guess what the maps were that they lost 13-8 and 13-5 against?
It was Permitter, right?
Permitter, Dust 2 Nuke, exact same veto, exact same maps, exact same everything, and they got demolished.
And it's
So
not
I'm
even like that
going
was
in-
3 months ago or something. That
It's
was
like a
6 days
week ago,
guys. Yeah,
6 days
exactly.
ago, yeah. I mean, there has literally been roster changes for Permitter since. Like, Mary's out, and they've got that Spava Q guy who, like, seems young, impressionable, very talented, but you've got a Gun 5 side where you have. It is very clear that when they're the underdogs, they're able to perform because they catch off the other team with their aggression and with their just pure aim battles. They're a very reactionary team, and I was thinking about last night of like, it's actually not random. It actually kind of does make sense of that. They just play off each other's information really well, and someone like Finnegan, the IGL, puts himself in a position where he actually controls a lot of this game, and he does so very well. Like, he controls the game, and you look at him and you're like, it makes sense. I can understand why. Easy on the orb, a little bit inconsistent against the top level, but I think he's very good at this level. And then Celta, Izello, Tinner, like, just a great group of riflers.
I feel like Easy's in the early stage of his career, so we're going to
Very
give him a
much
big
so.
pass there as well. We saw him with the massive clutch, and just touching on Finnegan, he must be one of the strongest fragging IGLs we have in the CCT level of competition. But let's have a look at the veto here. We can see which maps are going to get played between these two teams. Do we have a replica of the same maps we saw them play against each other last time? Is there something different? Gun 5 have gone for Dust 2 Permitter, have brought Ancient to the table instead, and Mirage will be the decider, as was the case in the previous series.
Yeah, I like it how Gun 5 are like, Nuke, get out of here, even though they literally just beat Fury on. So the only change is that Ancient pick, and that is interesting, I think, from Permitter, because I'm there just like, surely you just pick Nuke? And, you know, like, the only thing I would say is that 2 days ago they played Enterprise and got demolished on both Nuke, and then, well, and Ancient was a full 24 round, but they got demolished by Enterprise on Nuke and then lost Ancient. So those two maps, you've got like very recent form where SpavQ played really well, but they still lost. And they actually picked Mirage against Enterprise. So you've got Permitter with a veto where they're like, okay, we've won Dust 2 against Gun 5 before. Mirage is a map that we like to pick into. That's a decider, and there's definitely been like a game plan or a thought process behind Ancient, because otherwise they would have just picked Nuke, which they'd already won on as well. So I think the veto favors Permitter, but at the same time, Gun 5 beat Fury last night. So it's like, who knows, right?
Yeah, it's definitely up in the air. You know, just talking about Permitter's Ancient as well, it's a very good map for them. Funny enough, they did stray away from it at one point. At the start of May, they had lost it like 6 out of 7 times they'd played it, and they started banning it in the second phase of the veto, and I think they were looking to try and play Dust at one point. They were looking to try and pick Nuke, pick Vertigo, but they've actually been able to find their footing on Ancient once again. You know, like you said, they did lose to Enterprise, but it was a closely contested affair. They had a very narrow loss against Amcal as well, which is, you know, nothing to scoff at. That Amcal team is pretty damn good. So that does seem like Permitter are getting back into some good form here. And I'd say this is a 50-50 game, man. Sure, Gun 5 are coming off the back of a big win yesterday, but we haven't seen them, you know, keep that form up consistently. So the game's live, and we're going to find out how Gun 5 look today. Will they look as good as they did yesterday, or do Permitter have what it takes to come through with the win?
surely Gun 5 win this, right? Surely. And to really kind of let everybody understand, Finnegan, I think, got like 4 1 versus 2 1v3 just against Furia, and like they weren't scrappy, they were like genuine, just being like, wow, that was insane. But speaking of insane, Tomiko just loaned to Permitter does that. What? A shot on the tin air, and now Gun 5 forced towards this B-bomb site. The Glocks, they're not landing. Nothing's actually landing right now, but of course, it's Finnegan. The man, the myth, the legend. Nothing can stop him. However, he might have to do a little bit more because everybody else around him's dying.
Oh, what a response here from Permitter. They don't have to retake the bomb site because they actually denied Gun 5 control. Despite the fact that they do lose their B anchor early on, they're still able to make sure that Gun 5 don't get into that B bomb site. And, well, it is your man Finnegan left alone. It's going to have to be an ace clutch from him. Shout out to production. They actually had the roster bang on. Marcos is playing instead of Spavak.
HLTV on Fraud Watch.
Yeah, that is quite interesting that Marcos is going to be playing in this game.
Just first time for them.
Yeah, he was in PGE Turov most recently. He's been probably the best part of that roster, so I guess Permitter maybe just trialing a couple different players at the moment for that 5th spot. Are they bringing back the 6-man roster?
Oh god, no. There's evidently like a change going on right now for Permitter, because you have Tomiko coming through. So you're keeping Mary, Beanox, and Mars as the trio, and then I think a Marcos Tomiko would actually be quite strong. I actually really like the Permitter roster. I thought they were one of the stronger Polish teams, and I think they've actually got an upgrade here.
I mean, the thing about Spavaku that I was excited about is that he's an unknown quantity, and I think a team like Permitter would be massively bolstered by like a really young player who's just like pops off in the fragging department. They've got the experience, they've got the structure from the likes of, you know, Masked and Morels normally, but you don't have Morels in the server now, so definitely quite a lot of chopping and changing going on.
Oh wait, yeah, no Morels. Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, that's interesting. Tomiko's actually just about an ace. Oh, and he has 1 bullet.
Love that.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Work away. Popping off. Get those ecos. But,
what a hound dog.
Yeah, there was actually... You know, like that ex-Kapaki guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Spersky. Does he not play for the Young Ninjas team?
Yeah. So, I remember... I casted his like second ever HLTV game, and literally after the game I queued up against him, he dropped like 40 on me, and I was like, this kid's insane.
He's legit.
He was like 3.5 a K elo with something like 24 average, and I was just like, okay, yeah.
Fair enough, I guess.
Yeah. So like, he's like 17 years old at the time. I was like, sure, man, work away, you do you.
Alright, well, Gun 5 are going to look to work their way into this first gun round here. AKs across the board, util, and good map control. They've been able to make their way up short. I like the presence in towards tunnels as well. Permitter have got 3 players hard-rooted on that B-bomb site, and then 2 players who are controlling long. There's a huge gap here, a massive, vast space between either sides of the map for Permitter, and Celta's just been able to get a kill on the lurk as well, so there should be no way back into this for Permitter, and Zelo basically confirms exactly that.
Sorry, like, I just don't understand either of those shots. And this is exactly confirming what we were talking about. This pure individualism, this pure raw capability to just blow people's heads off their shoulders. Gun 5, they win such an easy round, and it's just, I'm so impressed by Celta and Exilio.
Yeah, you should be. I mean, we got to see it yesterday in heaps, and Permitter have just gotten a taste of it here in the 3rd round as well. All 5 players going to stay alive for Gun 5, and that was just a really well-worked default from them. They're able to get that short control initially and then work their way in towards Catwalk, and there's no contest, no contact, and they're like, okay, well, I guess we're just going to keep going. And when your lurker, who's like selling the fake as well, even gets a kill, that's just gravy, Freddy.
It's like putting cheese on curry. It's fantastic.
No, you're lying. You're not being real about that. It doesn't mean that, guys. Don't worry. Talking out of pocket.
Production just goes, what? Yeah, no, that was a joke.
Listen, I do want to talk about something quickly. Marcos has the AWP. Remember, Mask has been doing most of the AWPing duty for Perimeter
For the last, like,
the team.
well, he's also just an AWPer.
Yeah, so that's actually a pretty big change. He did have a point where he was rifling. I can't remember which roster he was playing with. Might have been like the Enterprise team before they changed rosters, orgs rather. But either way, focusing on this round, you can touch on that if you'd like, but it's a 4v3.
I'll touch you later, don't worry. And
Might not let you. It was Anonymo. That was the team when he was playing
Anonymo.
with,
okay,
what's the
well,
ideal's name with the long hair? Lunatic, that's him. Yeah.
Lunatic. Oh yeah, the guy who went to Honorus.
Yes, precisely. They became Anonymo afterwards.
Yeah, okay. I gotcha. And, well, easy, we've seen him 1v3 before, but not today. And that's actually a really good round for Permitter, where Celta puts it into a 3 vs 3, and it looks a little bit dire, but there's a re-aggression underpass, and it catches 2 players off guard. Gun 5, they get 1 round, but there's an instant rebuttal, and even though we do see some really nice clean shots, Permitter outplay Gun 5.
Yeah, they certainly do. And I actually just want to go back to the Mask conversation about the AWP. He was never a great AWPer. You know, he was like a stable AWPer. He was like an IGL filling the
I
wall.
thought him
kind
and
of.
Morels were quite good, I'll be honest.
Yeah, they were good, but he was never great. He was never like taking over a game with the AWP. But I think someone like Marcos, you get way more output from him in terms of the AWP role and the individual performances. You know, Mask can now focus on calling. He doesn't have to focus on trying to be the IGL and contributing in a way that you need your AWP too, as we see Tomiko getting another opening kill.
Well, this is a pretty perfect round from Permitter, and now this mid push. Yeah, round over. This is it. Easy's gonna get backstabbed, and I love Tomiko just gonna hold a little bit to pull the trigger. Maybe would have liked for him to hold it a little bit more, but you know what? Maybe that would just be overthinking it, because right there it's perfect. But they double push middle, and Celta does get an eventual trade, but wait, the roles are reversed everywhere. Nobody is in the positions they should be. We've got the CT players pushing down middle. We've got Ziello and CT spawn. Everyone's backstabbing each other, and Permitter are very split apart. There's a world that Gun 5 can isolate these duels, but it doesn't seem like it's actually the case. Sure, Ziello does get his, but I think Mast getting that one frag towards tunnels is all that matters, and Markosh, he hasn't been spotted just yet on this A bomb site. Now will be. Ziello leaping through the air like a salmon through the sky, takes a nade to the face, still alive though, and the AWP can't quite capitalize on that low HP the same way, but a pistol will, and Permitter continue their upward trajectory.
Yeah, they string rounds together here, man. They've put Gun 5 on the back foot. No bomb plant means not enough money here for Gun 5 to go for the investment. It's going to have to be an eco from them. And I just love how active the CT side is from Perimeter right now. Tomiko flanking through long in towards mid. And Zelo does have a chance there to catch them off guard. But the problem is that so much damage had already been done and the bomb was dropped in mid. So even though he was in the enemy lines, couldn't do a huge amount from there.
Yeah, it's just a round that all comes down to Gun 5 not really taking any control towards long. And it was something that we actually mentioned when they played against Furia, right? That we were saying how Furia were getting long for free quite a lot. And
Yeah.
it was Gun 5's T side that was actually more of an issue when they played up against Furia. And it's kind of for these reasons where Permitted, they're so easily able to take map control, and it feels like a lot of these rounds have been won because B's been pushed, or A's been pushed, or, you know, stuff like that, where Permitter have been taking the map control away from Gun 5 due to them not showing any presence on those parts of the maps.
Yeah, remember Gun 5 started on the T side against Furia yesterday on Dust 2 when they picked the map as well, and they went up 8-4 on the half. They did look a bit lackluster on their CT side, and so with that in mind, I'm thinking
Was-
Gun 5, they got to kind of win the half at the bare minimum here, right?
Was
T-side
it Gun 5? Was it not? Oh, it was Gun 5 on the T side that started well.
Yeah.
Okay. My bad, my bad.
It went up 8
But,
Furia chose the
Yeah, I
stance.
remember. I remember this, yeah. It was I remember Gun 5 both on like CT and T were just never really taking long control. And even right now, like, I guess it is a pistol round, but they are just going through middle. We've seen Salter and Finnegan in these Deagle rounds really pop off. But that long range, the hand cannon, it's just no match to superior AWP and Markosh. Maybe this AWP was a good upgrade for him.
It
Maybe
was,
bringing him in was the
yeah.
difference maker.
I've been thinking about it a bit more since I made the point, and I actually would go so far as to say I think Masked quite heavily capped the ceiling of this team by being the AWP IGL. I think by
Okay.
relinquishing that role and letting a star AWPer come into the mix has actually elevated the ceiling for Permitter.
Yeah, so what? Have they booted out Morales and brought in
It looks
Markosh
like
then?
it. And if you were going to get rid of a player, it probably unfortunately had to be Morels, just because it had to be one of the guys who, you know, was a part of the system but probably didn't contribute as much as an individual. I think the firepower has been
Yep,
upgraded quite
he's insane.
significantly now, and there we go. Yeah, you've got Freddy.
Farm the
He's-
Nikos.
He's bought in, and there we go. The thing is, anti-eco kills with an AWP, you know, are still pretty good.
Yeah.
There's not much of a difference, right?
Look, it's confidence in the end as well. Like, him and Tomiko, 9 kills each from eco rounds, and it's like, look, man, like, that gives you confidence. It gives you a burst of energy on occasion. And it is just very clean shooting as well, which is like, those those easy shots are sometimes the hardest ones to hit. But speaking of the AWPer, they're going to try and challenge each other in the middle. But it's actually going to be Mars that takes damage on the cross. In the meantime, though, Gun 5, we've been talking about their lack of long control. Well, they attempt to take said control, and it all falls apart. They go 1 for 2, and then in the meantime, there's also B aggression. So was that Markosh that pushed underpass? After peeking mid early, he gets no one fights him middle.
Okay.
He pushes underpass, gets that kill, comes back and nails 2 in middle. This guy is cracked on the sticks.
Yeah, and it's also just about understanding how he can maximize his role in the round by getting aggressive initially and finding that opening pick, but then by falling back into the system afterwards and becoming that role player of controlling middle. You know, he doesn't overplay his hand, he doesn't give up his life after he's gotten that fantastic opening kill. And it just seems like he's got a very good understanding of how to play the situation. And now it's an eco for Gun 5, so I'd actually like to make a point here. You know, you're playing on Dust 2 now, it's the opening game of the Swiss stage. You know that you're guaranteed at least 3 lives in the Swiss stage. Compared to playing a grand final on Dust 2 against a team like Furia, it's a completely different context, right, for Gun 5. You could imagine there must have been some celebrations after the victory last night as well. And they're just looking pretty cold right now. They're getting dealt with ease here by Permitter.
Huh. Big huh. I mean, Mouse and XT, they were in the semi-finals, right, against Furia yesterday. They actually went 0-2 in the main Swiss in Series 4, and then went semi-finals. So, you always have that, or you could just go 2-3 and get a lucky break. So, Gun 5, I guess they play better when maybe the pressure and the spotlight's on them. There was something like 100,000 viewers yesterday across the Brazilian, Russian, and English broadcast. It's actually crazy, wasn't it?
Does look like Gun 5 are going to try and force their way towards long once again, and finally they're able to get at least an even trade, at least initially, but Tomiko gets a second kill with his molly. Finnegan gets in towards Pit. Oh, but there's more where that came from. It's going to be Mari who really tries to force his way through. In the meantime, Master's made a move in tunnels, so Permitter making moves across the map right now. At least Easy gets his first kill of the map to open up long, and that will at least secure side control, I think. They have a smoke for the cross, and that will be enough for them to then get in towards A. Oh, but B-Nox looking for the gap, and he's going to find it. What a good exploit.
what a timing as well. He just catches that with absolute precision, and now is also baiting in for Mast. Mast, the player who got a kill and basically T-spawn, then rotates over to save the day. Permitter 8-1 up on their opponent's map pick. They are decimating the reigning CCT champions right now. They've done it before, and they're looking to do it again. They don't care if you've beaten Gamer Legion. They don't care if you've beaten Furia, because the Polish powerhouse are just too strong.
It's not even like these rounds have been contested.
Oh, not at all. Like, this makes so much sense.
Tania is 0-8 right now. Easy has 1 kill. I mean, Tania was the chief destroyer on Nuke against Furia yesterday. You could not keep him out of the game, but you can't get him in the game here against Permitter. And by the way, I mean, everybody's been waxing lyrical about how heavily T-sided Dust2 is at the moment. So that just even compounds the problems for Gun 5 on their map pick. I'm scared, Grimmy. Nothing makes sense anymore. Permitter have just called for a tactical pause straight after Gun 5's timeout, by the way. Like, that's always a statement.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys want 30 seconds? How about you take a minute? You can take the full minute here, discuss the situation. We're going to talk things through as well. You don't know what we're changing. So, you know, good luck trying to stay ahead of the game.
Hey, this is like great Counter-Strike from Permitter, and it just feels like they're also just hitting their shots. Like Tomiko and Markosh have 24 kills combined going into round 10. This is the second time Mars has been tagged on the door cross, but it doesn't seem like it's going to really matter too much, especially because Markosh gives back a much heavier punch to Easy. And Permitter just been doing so well at getting aggression on the extremities, and has completely been catching Gun 5 off guard. But Finnegan, he may have not got many kills, but when he does, he sure is crispy with it. Xelio does die, but sure it's a deagle, but that was a lot of the utility. He falls with a full belt, and now there's only a single flash left for Gun 5.
That's so questionable, man. You can't have your guy with the full belt of util, the one who's trying to find a gap in towards mid, right? You gotta at least just dump your util on the floor before you try make an extravagant play. Either way, at least Gun 5 have been able to get their way up short in towards this A bomb site. Mari is there at the moment, and Tomiko is deep and long, so Mari is kind of on an island as things stand. A couple low HP players heading in his direction. How many can he get?
He peeks out and, oof, okay, Tinner, that is his first frag of the game, and maybe that's what they needed. Retake on a man disadvantage, low HP, Easy from the very start of the round. He's gonna get headshotted anyway. Beanox jumping, doesn't connect. Now in the 1 versus 1 for the ace, actually. Tinner's playing around the box, and Tinner hits his second shot of the game. What a way to put yourself on the server.
Yeah, what a time to come alive for Tania, and they absolutely required him as well. Great multi-kill, including the 1 versus 1, to double up Gun 5's round count. And both rounds they've won have been born off the back of them getting early short control and then pushing onto the A-bomb site as a unit. Nice D kills as well. And that is a vital round coming through for the T side. It will allow them to full buy here coming into the next. It's going to be gun round after gun round for Permitter. They've got heaps of money. I mean, Permitter have already done the job though. In this first half, 8 rounds on the CT side is a stellar job.
Yeah, but they'll want more, like, and that round realistically should never have gone the way it did either, so that's gonna be a big upset for them that they did lose to the Pistols. Yeah, I think Permitter, can they bounce back? Mari, close, succeeds. Zilio, flash not affected. His opponent, and permitted a very crucial man advantage.
If Gun 5 just lose the round immediately after winning the previous, it's like back to square one, man. Again, Zelio is the first player to go down as well. Celta's taking a big chunk of damage in towards tunnels. Permitter have constantly been playing 2 players on that B-bomb site as well. and haven't really had much to do throughout the half. That nade is saucy. Oh, so much damage done to Tania. He is going to be limping his way forward onto the bomb site. Samiko drops a smoke to give himself some cover to walk around. That CT smoke starts to fade. Marcos gets a line of sight as a result, and he takes down a player on the cross. And Gun 5 looking ice cold and not in the good way either. When they played against Gun 5 on this map last time, they lost 13-8, by the way. They only managed 5 rounds on their CT side. And then they got 8 rounds. Permitter, they beat Gun 5. Sorry, excuse me. They won 13-8, but it was off the back of a 5-7 CT side. They then won 8 out of 9 rounds on their T side, Freddy. So things just, as I continue to paint this picture, they look bleaker and bleaker for Gun 5, man.
This ain't looking good, dog. Permitter are, they've lost, what? Against the Deagle round? And what even was the first round that Gun 5 won? Was it first gun round?
Bonus round for Permitter.
Yeah, it was, exactly. So we've yet to see, any first just back-to-back rounds being won. Or bye-bye Zelio. First died 2 rounds in a row as well, I might want to add. And actually to the hands of Mary on both those occasions. Gun 5 though, they have some pace to them. They have some energy about the way they are rocking their momentum towards this B bomb site. But Mars, as the smoke booms and B tunnels, makes it so Gun 5 are all attacking from this same direction. Mars alone, he may not have the AWP anymore, but he's still wielding it with vigor. Hayes, he's told you to shut up because he still has the capabilities. That's 4 kills on the dollar. A left-right good night to Gun 5 to send them packing in the first half.
Yeah, I'm sitting here with a smile on my face after I saw that from Mask. Fair dinkum, mate. I mean, he's able to do a really good job on the B-bomb side. He didn't have any support either, and it's one of those AWPing situations where you have to hit every single shot that's afforded to you, otherwise you will get overwhelmed and go down, right? So, yeah, props to Mask there. That was a beautiful sequence of kills, but don't tell me you're picking Masked over Markosh as your AWPer for the team. Come on, let's be real. It was a great highlight, Freddy, but that's all it was. A highlight.
Bro's just a hater. Bro's a hater. Why can't everybody... Why can't everybody be the AWPer?
Well, on a map like Dust 2, they probably can.
Yeah, actually. That's the one map where a double AWP in that exact same position is, perfect.
Could even throw a third in the mix if you really wanted. Permits have just used their 3rd timeout, by the way.
I rate it so much. Probably because Mars celebrates. He's like, guys, I hit an AWP shot. Give me back AWP, please.
Oh, I'm the hater, right? Yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah, no, but I'm the comedian.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, you're a bit of a joke, but either way, I'm sorry, mate, I had to. What I was going to say is, what if there's a bit of a comeback here from Gun 5 and Permitter don't have any pauses to discuss the situation? Have they gotten ahead of themselves a bit?
No, dude. No. I understand your thinking, but it's the same thing. Someone said on a cast to me recently, they were like, oh, they've used all their pauses carelessly. I'm like, no, that's just not how it works. You use your pauses where you feel necessary. You have 3, it's way better to use them than not use them, in my opinion. Sure, there's maybe more effective or ineffective ways, but overall, I think Permitter have got one in the bag. And if they lose the pistol round, who cares? It's the pistol round. Give Gun 5 a little bit of thought that they might be able to win this. And you know what? It was a 5 versus 3 for Gun 5. Now it's a 3 versus 2 for Permitter. So, what's going on? Ooh, squeaky bum time.
Oh man, Celta's really trying to force the issue there, man. At least
he thought he was planting.
Yeah, but you got to expect there might be a fake. I do understand, because he's got to get ahead of the game. It's going to be very difficult to retake from a static start. And now we will see Finnegan 1 versus 2 edging his way forward, looking to isolate these jewels. And he does realize there's now a player towards Car. He gets offered up the gunfight. Beanox goes down. Mari can't get the trade. So now we're in a 1v1. And Mari, he does look like he's trying to be proactive, going for the elevated angle, and with great reason.
Yeah, that's a really well played 1 versus 1 from Mari. That's That's just genuinely perfect. Like, he elevates his position. Do you know how hard it is to flick up? And you're just not anticipating that either. So really well played. And he doesn't do it straight away. I think the fact that he throws that play in like 10 seconds into that 1 versus 1, I think it completely catches Finnegan off guard. And Permitter, like, look, they have got a jackhammer, and the coffin and the nail is just like being driven into him. They're just railing Gun 5 right now. They've got the Gatling gun out, and Permitter 2 rounds away until they go on to their map pick. Looking pretty good. And, you know, does this make them CCT champions? Is it like a King of the Hill type thing?
No, not King of the Hill. CCT makes them the best team in the world, Freddy.
Best team in the world.
Because that was Gun 5 before Dust 2, right? Oh, Tomiko, is he the best player in the world? Oh,
Markosh
There
is.
we go, there we go. We figured it out.
Bash. Markosh Bash.
He's
Or
15 and 4 right now,
Marbash.
man. Listen,
This
I wanna
is his
get your
debut, by
opinion
the
on
way.
Something.
By the way, this is
Yeah.
his debut. You do know that, right?
Well, we don't know if he's been signed. Is there any official word? Can't be your debut if it's not
To
official.
Twitter we go.
I want to get your take on something here, because it was
Hit
a
me,
force
dude.
buy that Gun 5 have just brought to the table, because they're down 11-2, right? So thinking we have to... Oh, Zelio's bought a Negev, and he sold it.
Oh,
was gonna
I kind of
say,
would have respected
I
it.
was going to say, I am of the school of thought that at 11-2 down CT side, you eco and play for overtime, so you guarantee yourself at least 1 full buy. But most people think you should just force buy in that round so that you can try and win a round back as soon as possible and stop the team from getting to map point. Where do you stand?
GG go next.
So then you haven't answered my question, Freddy. You just...
I mean, like,
Or just saying...
I like, there's, I don't know. I think, depends on the map.
The way I see it is, you want to get at least 1 full gun round in the half before the map is over,
Yeah.
even if it means you're playing for overtime. I just don't see much of a big difference between 2-11 and 2-12. You still have to make an impossible comeback at that point. You might as well give yourself at least a gun round.
One can end it off in regular. What a shot
Ooh.
from Mast. Wow.
Baby!
Baby, it's a double. Actually, yeah, you know what, Hayes? I think I agree with you. Look, it
Sick.
makes, but then like, Gun 5 just might win this round. So how do you like them apples? The fact that Markosh is now in a 1 versus 2.
Well, if I did want a player to be in a 1v2, it will be Markosh. Does seem like he
Yeah.
has an idea. He could be making his way up Cat. He doesn't have his
Making
crosshair
noise.
perfectly placed. Yeah, there we go. That's an easy kill for Markosh. And did he know Finnegan was B? He's trying to fake the audio cue as the drop
Ooh.
down. Finnegan's just going
I
to miss the timing on the
Don't
head.
know. Oh,
Finnegan's
wait.
still tracking and tracing, man.
Yeah, I think like he must have seen the head, but like with a yeah, okay. Finnegan, I think definitely saw him.
This is unlosable for Finnegan.
You say that. Markosh been dinked, and okay, Finnegan. Look, you put him in a clutch. Yesterday he was putting clutches out of the wazoo, and there he has the perfect read as well.
Okay, so Gun 5 won the force buy. Not the force they would have wanted to win at 11-2, but they do keep themselves alive on Dust. I mean, only just, right? It's like there's a heartbeat on the heart rate monitor. But it's not a strong one. And the beeps are few and far between. Are Permitter gonna eco here, Freddy?
If they had the bomb down, I think they'd go for a force. But what's the loss bonus? They only have 1900 next round, right? Yeah, they only have 1900 next round, so like, I don't know. They can't buy next round either.
They can.
Well, they have
1900's
like
enough to buy
Beanox
next round.
can. Masters 3.9.
Markosh, Mari, Tiko,
yeah.
It's just Master a bit low.
I guess like it won't be the best of buys, but Beanox could have gone all power if he hadn't bought Deagle. Could have dropped that over to Markosh, but I guess Deagle no armor is better than Norp.
What?
Beanox could have probably dropped an AWP over.
No,
but now
but you said Deagle no armor is better than an AWP.
I was tongue in cheek.
Ah, right. There we
It
go.
it actually tilts me when people buy like a P250 on these rounds, like a Deagle. Like, what are you gonna do? Go die? Cheers. And now, yeah, okay, I guess he can still drop a naught, but he's not gonna have util for himself. Yeah, no head armor, because he'll be able to buy a flash and
That
Kevlar.
means the AKs can one-tap now, Freddy. Listen, I'm joking for anybody.
I know you're
who
joking, and I
doesn't
know
catch
you're
that.
making a. I know you're joking.
It's a little inside joke. Listen, there's 2,500
It's an inside
people
joke.
watching, but Freddy gets the joke, and that's really what
Yeah,
matters the most.
you guys, you know, there's 2005. There's all those big people watching, but we got those inside jokes because we're actually lovers. Ooh,
That's
fast beat, fast long.
Factual.
Ooh.
Right. I think Permitter, yeah, try and do what Furia did a number of times, which is take that early long control. There wasn't much of a contest in that series towards long from Gun 5. However, there is a good contest on this occasion, and Finnegan is primed to deny the players coming up short as well. He catches Tamiko trying to fall back, and he
Oh,
continues
baby.
to press forward. Great work out of Finnegan as he starts to come alive here on Dust 2.
Okay. Gun 5, where was this 10 rounds ago? It's starting to get alive, and Finnegan, maybe that clutch with the FAMAS was really quite necessary. How many rounds do they need? What, 7 to go to overtime? So that would be 9 in a row, would it be, Hayes?
That
That's
is
not-
the number.
That's quite a lot. It's gonna be hard.
Tall order. Yeah, it's
It's a
tall
very tall order, and especially now that Permitter have stopped faffing around with these low purchases or whatever. Like, next round, they're gonna have everything, right? There's not gonna be sign that they're missing. They're gonna have the full purchases, maybe an AWP out from Markosh if he chooses to do so. I think
you
him
need
buying the
it.
Glock, him buying the Glock kind of says to me that he is saving for that AWP actively.
Couldn't have been that important. Easy has now eclipsed Zelo with the AWP. And that is going to be Gun 5 getting themselves up to 6. You got to remember that it's also about Gun 5 just bringing something to the table here on Dust 2 before we go to Ancients after this, where their confidence will be a bit better than what it would have been losing 13-2. So at least they're giving us something here on Dust 2 now, right? I think they took Dust 2 a bit too seriously in the first half. With their
They put
first
what?
two
They took
rounds.
what too seriously?
Dust 2 rounds for Gun 5.
Okay, that was actually alright. I'll give you that. That wasn't bad. And Gun 5, they're actually taking a lot of control towards long, which is not what we really saw yesterday. But it is going to be this played towards the B bomb site. There's 3 AWPs for Gun 5. If Celta dies here, there's just like, there's no way they can retake it. Gun 5 have more AWPs than rifles on their team right now. There's 4 AWPs on the server, and 3 of them are on the CT side. 1 mid, 1 short, 1 B. The first one fires off. They're not going to expect the second. There's no way they're going to expect the third. They're just everywhere. This is a nightmare.
Nightmare fuel indeed. Emitter starting to apply pressure in towards middle before the players in tunnels make their move into the B bomb site. Celta's got a massive job on his hands. Tanir and Zelo, they've upheld their end of the bargain. Now for Emitter have to commit. That smoke has kept them at bay, and you know what? They've been caught napping.
Look at
they
where
didn't
Celta's
activate
playing.
immediately. He's cooped up in that corner, and Zelo will take contact as well. This one's as good as done, man.
What's going on?
He's got an AWP. I didn't even realize he had an AWP in that corner. That's ridiculous.
That's what I mean. That's why I
Yeah,
pointed it out.
God damn.
He gets flashed to peak tunnels on the close angle with an AWP. I feel like Gun 5 are actually just playing for fun right now, and it's working. Right, this is a weird game because it feels like Permitter should have maybe closed it out, but the triple AWP is the difference maker because why not? Because obviously. And we still have 4 ops on the server. Permitted, they save 3 players. Beanox, Mary, or the AK. Marcus with the Orb. There's going to be some Tech 9s and Deagles brought around them. Permitter, it's from 9 rounds to now. They've got 4 rounds in a row. It went from
5.
9 rounds into 5 rounds. They got 4 in a row. And
Is it not
the
5 in a
triple
row? It
orb.
was 12-2, no?
Was it 12-2?
Yeah, because it was 10-2 half. Permitter wins the
Oh,
first 2
yeah.
rounds, then Gun 5 won
12-2. So they actually needed 10 rounds in a row. So they've got half of that. So they've done the hard part, I think, of like getting it going.
Yeah, true. And it's not like this is a full buy for Permitter either. They've carried a few weapons through, and then they've plugged the gaps with some pistols. Nice jump across. Zelio didn't really take the bait on the first player jumping across, but Marcos hits the shot anyway. Easy with the AWP will be a responder, and there's another AWP in towards window. He's going to get flashed forwards. Mari eats that flash for breakfast, and Celta eats up Marcos. As we do see kills going back and forth, but Mari is the difference maker.
There you go. That's what we're looking for. Able to break open that B-bomb site like a nut. And all the AWPs have died. So this is actually kind of best case scenario for Gun 5 in this 2 versus 3. Finnegan gets the first. We're down to a 2 versus 2,
Mari?
and he's taken all the control and flashes perfectly. So Mari falls. Tinit now activates towards tunnels. They know where Beanox is, and the retake, it is successful. A 3 versus 2 blundered. They had a flank through middle, but it's the flank of Tinit that reigns supreme. Gun 5. 4 rounds left till overtime.
Yeah, Mask completely gets ahead of himself on that flank as well, because you really want to wait for the CTs to commit to the retake before you activate your flank in opposed plants. And then Mari just gambles way too much there by not even considering tunnels, because he's got the box as his cover from window and double door, but he's just kind of sitting behind it, trying to play off of his teammate towards cars. So, I mean, it's a free kill for the player coming through from tunnels. If you're just tuning in now and seeing 12-8, it's like, yeah, well, I don't see why Gun 5 couldn't take this to overtime from here. But it was 12-2. They've won 6 rounds in a row to get to this point. And you've got to imagine that Permitter probably starting to feel a bit of pressure now, right?
Oh, for sure. And I think especially when you look at a round like that, where you have the advantage, Mari double opens the B bomb site, you've killed the triple AWPs. What more do you want? Well, to actually win the round. And speaking of an opener, this time it's Mast. Mast with a double, replicating what Mari did in the previous, and it'll just do one better. 3 kills, left, right, good night. They got close in the previous. It looks like this is going to be the nail in the coffin. Both AWPs left now. One towards A, one towards B. Easy gets caught off guard. He's been anything but impressive this series. Celta, that same sentiment applies to him. And he's over on the B bomb site as the bomb's being planted on A.
Yeah, job done. Round and map over. Permitter finally going to get across the line. Probably just as they were starting to break out a sweat there. Gun 5 winning 6 in a row, making Permitter work for that last round to finish off proceedings here on Dust 2, but it will come through as expected. Someone needs to tell Celta that it's 12-8, and he has to retake the A bomb site to win the round for his team.
Counterpoint, HLTV stats.
Counterpoint, those don't matter, the result does, and Permitter will finish off the job.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the chinks in the armor starting to show a little bit for Permitter there. I think that's undeniable, where, look, they do lose 6 rounds in a row, and sure, there were, like, eco rounds, and it was a little bit messy at the beginning, and you probably had a Permitter that was like, oh, lads, we've won this, okay, maybe we haven't won it yet, and, like, the 3 versus 2 lost in the penultimate round, where you have the B-bomb site on Dust 2, which is known for being the hardest map to retake, being retaken while also having a flank unsuccessful. So sure, there are some moments for Permitter where you're like not perfect, but overall that was a great map from them. They win their opponent's map pick and they're taking the crown as the CCT reigning champions.
Yeah, they are looking to take the crown from the Kings at the moment. I was just thinking towards the end of the map there, would be mighty nice to have a pause if you're Permitter, right? But thankfully they didn't need that pause there.
The pauses. You said this. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough,
Yeah.
Hayes. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, but thankfully they didn't need it, and they do get across the line as expected off the back of a mammoth CT side. They win the map 13-8, and it means they take a 1-0 lead in the series. It's going to be their map pick up next of Ancient. We are going to throw this one into a break, and we'll see you guys shortly.